Hello everyone and welcome to the Autodesk Designathon 2026. My name is Furkan Günal and I'm the technical lead for this Designathon challenge. Today we will be focusing on the technical training, but before we dive into the software, before we dive into the Fusion, I want to give you a brief overview of the upcoming competition days and what you can expect from this year's Designathon. Yeah, I'm saying this year's Designathon because as knowledge point, we are doing this for 4 years. 4 years. This is the fourth Designathon, and we are incredibly excited to see student teams joining us from all around the world. So thank you so much for attending this meeting, and again, welcome. So we have a timeline about the competition or Designathon. So this timeline is very important because we have different dates with different things. Let's start with today. So today is actually voluntary, but we will be covering so many things about Fusion and we will be showing most of the designing workflow. And that's really important. And we will have the second training on the 3rd of the July. This one will be exactly the same with this one. So you already joined this one and didn't miss the first training. But if your teammates or your friends missed the training today, you can join the second one. No worries about the details because we will be sharing the information with you with an email. That my colleagues are sending you email and sharing details with specific dates and important dates. So you can if you are attending this training, you can skip the second one. If you want, you can join. Of course, you are free to join. We are welcome to join that one as well on the 17th of July. So this is the competition day one, and it's really important and strongly recommended you to join there because we will be demonstrating a complete modeling workflow. Um, we will be and actually our experts will be modeling some products, and it's really important for you to see how you will model in Fusion, and this will help you a lot during the competition day too. And on the 18th of July, so this is we can call it actually a main competition day because joining this session is mandatory because we will be um, you will receive the brief in the morning. We will explain what's the brief for the competition. We will explain you the requirements, etc. So it's mandatory to join this one as well. After that, you will be working and collaborate with your teammates for the rest of the day. So that's really important. On August, to give specific date, in the 5th of August, there will be award ceremony. We will be hosting award ceremony and we will celebrate your amazing projects and we will announce the winners. So you can take a note with these dates. You can take a screenshot, or I'm sure that we will send you email and showing these exact dates for this important sessions. Regarding how we will support you during this competition, so we are using different platforms. Like today, we are mostly using Zoom. So trainings and the competition days, we will do our presentations and trainings through Zoom. We are using Zoom, and if you have any questions, please use Zoom chat, and we will be answering your questions. Other than that, you are seeing Discord here, so we have Discord server as well, but no worries about the access yet because we didn't invite anyone yet. So for the competition days, you will be using Discord for the communication with us or with your teammates. We are waiting for the deadline for the registrations. Once we finalize the participant list, every team member will receive an email containing the official Discord invitation link, and there will be different channels, general channels, announcement channels, etc. And we will be sharing updates about the competition through these channels. Also, uh, there will be private channels, and you will be assigned to these channels, and you can collaborate with your teammates privately, and you can ask your questions through these private channels as well. Other than that, I mean, that you might have different questions about the competition, not about Fusion. So we have this email address as well, and you can ask any questions you have about organizations or timing, etc. So the team. That's really important one, because on this slide you are seeing our amazing organizing team from Knowledge Point. Some of the uh, persons in this presentation is also with us here today. Maybe I can introduce everyone briefly. So Thomas Carlson is my manager, and maybe I can start with Knowledge Point actually, because as Knowledge Point, we are Autodesk's learning partner distributor, and we are running the program for Middle East, Africa, and CIS region. We are mostly working on the education side of Autodesk, of course, and you are seeing my colleagues, and they, I mean, everyone you are seeing in this picture worked hard to organize this competition. So I want to thank you, everyone here. They will introduce themselves briefly. So I will continue. But before that, I mean, other than my colleagues, I want to give a special shout out to our two student experts you are seeing now, Emre and Mehmet. They have been using Autodesk Fusion extensively since their early student years. Like you, I know all of you are here students today, and after that, they have been supporting us as expert trainings in this Designathon events or other events. I can say that, and I know that in their professional life, they're also using Fusion, and they can introduce themselves better than me. So, yeah, I won't talk about on that anymore. And but I can say that they are true experts, and you will be in a great hands today. So. Maybe we can start with Emre. Emre, can you introduce yourself for
Yeah,
us?
sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emre from Turkey. I'm a naval engineer. And after working in Singapore for about a year, I returned to Turkey, to my country, and I co-founded a startup focusing on marine robotics. And besides that, I've been actively using Autodesk Fusion during both my student and professional life. So thank you.
Thank you, Emre.
Hello everyone, I'm Emin, and I'm using Diffusion like 6 years, and I am right now a master student at Middle East Technical University. I'm an industrial designer, and I am running a workshop area in the university too. So I work at the university too. So I hope you have a really nice time with the uh, whole competition. So hello.
Mhm.
So we
Yeah.
can go
Thank
back
you.
to
Thank
Anna.
you. Thank you, Emre.
Hi everyone. I'm Anna Satirovska. You probably know me from all the emails you're receiving. I work for Knowledge Point and I'm part of the organizing team. So I wanna say welcome to everyone. We are so excited to do this Designathon for the fourth year, as my colleague Furkan mentioned. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of your designs, and I want to say good luck to everyone. Furkan, if we can go on the next slide, I want to spend
Oops.
some time to thank our sponsors for this year. So a big thank you to our main sponsor, 3D Connection, with their contribution with Space Mouse wireless devices and Cat Mouse Pro wireless devices. Those will be part of the prizes, and my colleague Sonia will shortly uh, share more details on it. 3D Connection designs powerful research-based ergonomic and smart devices to make your daily work in CAD fast, comfortable, and fun. So, yeah.
Anna, sorry to interrupt you. So I can say that I'm also if you are seeing this, I'm
Yeah.
also using a cat mouse, and it's really helpful if you are working on Fusion or other 3D modeling software. I would highly recommend this to use, and we are really lucky to have 3D Connection as our sponsor. So thank them actually for being sponsored to us.
So there you go. You have a first-hand, very happy user. Thank you,
Yeah.
Furkan. Of course, Dynaton wouldn't be complete with our learning partner sponsors. Same as previous years, we want to say big thank you to our partners who are contributing, helping us, supporting us, spread the word about Designathon, and also supporting the students with their localized events and trainings. So I will mention their names you're seeing on the screen: as Consulting, Net Info, CAD Masters, Costec, Generative CAD Services, Clinton Innovative Center, Atlantic Computers and Electronics, CPA, and Modena. Thank you, and we really appreciate everything you are doing, supporting Designathon, and it wouldn't be a great success year by year without you. So thank you a lot. Okay, and before I pass the talking stage to my colleague Sonia, one final note from my side, and this is for you students, but also for everyone. We would love to see your posts or updates from the event. So we would ask you, if you are sharing on your social medias, to use the hashtags you're seeing on the screen. Dynaton 2026, Autodesk, and Knowledge Point. We are using the same hashtags, and it will be easier to find your posts and support your post. So yeah, help us share the excitement about Dynaton. Thank you, everyone, and Sonia, to you.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Hello. Hello, everyone. I can see there are many students in this training today. My name is Sonia. I'm working for Knowledge Point. I'm mainly at this stage, I'm mainly responsible for the registrations, to take care of each registrations to be properly recorded, and each student to be provided with all necessary details regarding the competition itself. However, now I would like to talk about some more exciting part of this competition, that is the prizes. The appointed jury will select 3 top teams that will be recognized as the first, the second, and the third prize. There will be also one more exclusive prize from Autodesk directly. The winning team that will place first will be invited to attend an in-person training workshop with Autodesk experts at the Autodesk Training Technology Center in Birmingham, UK. This is an exclusive opportunity for the winning students to learn directly from the Autodesk experts with long-term experience, to explore how these professionals design and how they solve challenges, and also to present their concept from this competition to the Autodesk, in front of the Autodesk representatives. This workshop is expected to take place in October, but the exact date will be defined additionally with the winning team. The organizers will cover all the costs for travel, accommodation, and also they will support you in getting, if there is a need for getting a visa for visiting UK. The second prize would be cash reward or a gift certificate equivalent to the amount of $3,000 US, Also, from our sponsor that Anna mentioned, 3D Connection, there will be Space Mouse wireless device for the second place, and each team member will receive Autodesk Certified Associate Exam voucher, but on the condition that they will confirm acceptance with a set time that will be provided and communicated with the organizers. The third place, the team that will won the third place will receive cash reward or gift certificate in equivalent amount of $2,000, and also there will be associate exams vouchers for each team member that is also need to be confirmed with the organizers. As last year we started, Autodesk picked one team as a wildcard award. This year there will be the same. So Autodesk will choose on their own. They will choose one team, and they will receive again from our sponsor 3D Connection. They will receive CAD Mouse Pro wireless device. The announcement of the winning teams and the special recognition from Autodesk will be announced on the online award ceremony that will take place on the 5th of August, as Furkan mentioned. So you can note this date, because it will be a special date when the announcement of the winners will be. So thank you and good luck to everyone. Now I'm passing on again to Furkan to start
Thank
the
you.
training.
Yeah, thank you, Sonia. So we will continue with the training, but before that, I realized that I forgot to say something. This whole session will be recorded, the training, the dates, etc., the presentation we are running now, and as soon as Zoom finish the recording and send to us, we will email to you, so you will have the everything as recorded and you can rewatch the training, rewatch the presentation, etc. Yeah, I realized that I forgot to say that before we start the training. And please also remember, if you have any questions during the training about Fusion, just type them through chat. Myself, Mehmet, and Emre will be actively monitoring the chat and we will be answering your questions. All right. Again, thank you so much for being here today with us, and let's start to the training. Emre, Mehmet, the floor is yours. Thank you.
So thank you, Furkan. So let's continue with the Fusion. So you can open your Fusion on your desktop, or you can watch and trying to more understand it. So we are going to introducing the program. So let me share my screen. I'm starting with it. So I suppose you are seeing my screen right now. Yes, just a second. So this is Fusion. Welcome everyone. So in here, when you open the Fusion, you will going to see a menu like this. So let's start with what is this program? What are we doing in here, and how we can going to use it? So this is the program that we are modeling. As you know, in the real life, we have materials, parts, designs, desks, etc. So everything is 3D. But in the computer, we are using these programs to design and creating these 3D models in your designs, in your mind, or in your imagination, to become much more realistic, much more manufacturable. So we are using these programs like Fusion that we're going to talk about right now. So when we come here, we were going to talk about this right now. What's part design, assembly design, hybrid design. But let's continue with the first things. So when we come to this area, we can see lots of comments, lots of icons. We are going to explain all of them, so don't worry. So before just starting it, I will going to recommend something. When you open the Fusion, it might open in your mother language or another language. So these terms are in the program. If you know some other programs, other modeling programs, you may recognize some of the terms because most of the terms are using widely. It's the base words, base terms that we are modeling, right? For example, extrude, loft, etc. So when I am telling in English, so not because of avoiding the confusions, so I would like to ask you to change the language to English. So just before that, to do that, as you can see in all of your screens, the right top corner in here, my name is Ferit Gül, and I am seeing my name right now. When you click it with your mouse, loft button, you can see some areas like Autodesk account, preferences, my profile, share feedback, or sign up. So let's continue with the preferences. In here, all these areas are preferences that you can set the model according to your wishes, according to your behaviors. So in here, as you can see, there are language options, and I wanted you to turn it to in English for avoiding the confusion. When you change the language, the app will going to ask you to restart the program. So you can do it right now. I'm waiting to restart the program just for 1 minute. So in the design in Fusion, I'm talking about my experience. Actually, it's quite easy and very talented program. You can learn quite easily. You can work on different areas of design like solid design, surface design, meshes, sheet metal, or you can prepare some manufacturing that we talk about CAM, computer aided manufacturing files in your Fusion too. So it's actually a big combination of a big programs. So, but also it's logical to design some models. So when you know a program, you can adapt this Fusion too. So I hope that all of you just restarted the program. Just before that, I'm going to talk about something more. Let's continue with the profile and preferences too. In here, you may know some other programs like Alias, Inventor, PowerMill, SolidWorks, or Tinkercad. When we using this, there are some mouse shortcuts for panning, zoom, orbiting. When you are using your mouse, these shortcuts you may recognize from other programs. So if you know another program in here, you can click it to adjust the shortcuts for this program to your Fusion. So you can become much more clear understanding or using much more efficiently. I'm using Tinkercad, by the way. So I'm continuing with that too. And after saying apply and OK, we can continue with it. So just before that, I'm going to talk about these data panel first. In data panel, actually, one of the most important things about Fusion is in here, all of your projects are in the cloud. So with this, we have lots of advantages, like we can share some files with our friends. we can work on the same project with our co-workers. So and they also can add some files to your project, edit your project too, so you can work together in with your friends so easily, not sending lots of files manually. It's all combined in just one section, and it is data panel. When we open it, the data panel, you will going to. I am working for a long time, so I have lots of projects, and these are the and I deleted a lot of them too. If you are just a new starter, you may see just my recent data, admin projects, default projects, etc. So when you are starting a new project, a new design, a new project, you can click create as project. Actually, this is a sub file, a main file of your project. So let's name the project to, for now, Designathon 26 training day 1. Enter it. So I have this project. So when I'm working on this project, I can save my all files, all different design files into this file. So I can track them easily, I can find easily, I can share with my teammates so easily, so they can track my projects too. In here, let's see what we have. A data, when we saving some files, we are going to see in here. So let me save some file right now. File 1, for example, right now. It's an empty file, by the way. We didn't make any design in here. But as you can see, our file is now in here, and as you can see, upload finished. So it's in the cloud, and my teammates can reach it so easily. As you can see in here, this is a solid model image, solid model logo. We will talk about this later too. And what we are seeing is the file name, file 1. And also when I can click this right now. So when we click it, so I'm seeing some details of this file, like currently opened by right now. I'm using it. Mehmet Emin myself. Last updated date is right now, because I just uploaded it, by me. And there are also much more details about it. So history. History is when we are working on this file, for example, let me create some basic. We will going to talk about this later. Now I changed the file and now I'm saving it. When I'm saving it, I can add a version description. And for example, in this version, what's going to be just basic sketch. And I'm saying, okay, it's uploading and now it's on the cloud. And as we can see, we have another history right now, a second one that in history, we can see I created it. Now it's another file. I'm working on it and I'm saved it again. So after that, we just can see the history in here. I also can access the previous files that I saved. For example, like in here, if you need, when you are working on a file for a long time, you are recognizing like, yes, I fixed I'm working on this model, but I need that version of it. So I can work on it right now. I can work again on it, or I can fix it. You can access the old versions of these files. So when you are working on complex projects, you will going to thank the program just for it. Because when you need it, and you know in here, in history, but if you can't reach it, it's annoying and you are losing time. So not right, not well. So after that history, we can see some in here uses. So this items does not reference any other designs. So we can use these designs for referencing some other designs. But right now, I'm just open it, so we couldn't use in others. Used in which other designs that this model are using it. So, and also drawings. We didn't create any drawings, so I'm going to talk about these terms lately, but just going on easily. And also for seeing much more details, I can go with the view details on web. As you can see right now in web, I'm seeing my file name, and I'm seeing some, sorry, it's in Turkish, but I couldn't change in the language to English. So you can see much more details in here too. So let's continue back to the Fusion. In view details on web, you can see your friends too. Also, in here, you can create new folders in it. When you need subfolders, you can create it easily. So like in here, hey, one. I can create some folders, so I can add other designs in this folder too. So let's continue it. You can upload some files when you get manually. It shouldn't be a Fusion file. It can be other file types. Fusion supports most of the file types in the sector. And an important part, you can pay attention to this in here, in people. So when I said you can work with your friends, so you should add your friends into your design. So how we can do this? When I say manage members, what says we and add members to this folder with the Fusion web client. So I'm opening it. Just a bit, I'm changing into English. Right now, as you can see, my file name and the content, what's in it, and members and permissions, that who is going to access this file and what's the permissions of that. So you can type your friend's mail in here. Like, for example, right now, it's the Emre's mail is in here. So when I'm saying that add members, I can add a role to him, like what's his viewers, just files, and just views the files, folders, comments, and contacts. But it couldn't open it, just see it. For readers, it opens the files. It can see what's in it. He can download it. He can copy and paste it. But as you can see, he couldn't edit it. He can't edit it. So with editor, as you can see, he's a reader and he can edit the files and upload files, rename files, move them, and delete them. So when you are working with your friends and they need to access your files and working and changing, editing your designs, you should add them as editor. If you add them as a viewer, they just be able to seeing the names of the files, not what's in it. In readers, they can see the files, what's in it, but they couldn't intervene, nothing. But in editors, they can read it, they can edit it, they can work on it, your file, etc. For director, it manages to organize the members and set access levels. But what I'm doing is actually a director's role. So I can add, I can delete the people who I'm going to give some accesses director can do that. Or folder manager is administrator of everything. So I'm created this file. So I created this project. I'm manager of it. But also I can give some manager roles to another one. Also, who has the manager role can delete the permanent thing permanently what's in it. Also, for my advice, you can add your friends when you are working with them, and they in this project they will going to need to add some designs, fix your designs. So you can add them as editor. So I'm adding him as editor in here. So it's applied, and when I'm saying done, right now Fusion is sending a mail to Emre to inviting him to my design, like Mehmet Emin invited you design as a editor role. When he clicks it, he will going to see the my files in Fusion. He can gain access to it. Right now it's pending. That means, as you can see, the invitation has been sent but has not yet been accepted right now.
Okay, now I got your email and I'm accepting it. I should be able to see it in my data panel in a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I can see
You
your
can add
folder.
a file. Can you just add a file? Doesn't matter what's in it.
Sure.
Just save a file that we
Okay.
going to see that you can add it.
I'm adding another folder named as hey_2. Okay. So
Hey to hey. As you can see, the data in this folder has been updated. So let's refresh it. Hey two. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing in here, but he added it. File. So thank you. Let's continue with what? Let me check. Good. So version history, milestones. What's milestones? Let's talk about milestones. So when you are working on a project and when you are working on it, so my recommend is save regularly your files. Not just every 1 minute, but when it's an important stage you are in the designing process, just save it regularly. Not for a too long or long times like 2-3 hours, but like when it's important, when you finish something important, just save the files. And when you are saving some files, let me create something in here. Again, I'm changing the file and I'm saving it right now. You can set some milestones, which is, as we can see, the description. Highlight a specific version by marking it as a milestone. In your design, if you finished this very important stage part of it, and when you are saving regularly, you can reach a lot of saving versions. So not losing them, you can add some milestones in here, and you can name it. So let's finished, for example. Now I'm saying, okay, as you can see, just right now, you will go to see it. We know we are in a milestone, a different logo. It has different logo. It has different name by Emin, and I can see all of the stages in here with finished, and it's a milestone. So you can find this file so easily when you are dealing with lots of saved versions. So in here, this is the first part of just working on the data panel. So we can go back to the main design area. So let's I'm inviting to stage Emre. So let me finish.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Emin. All right, guys. So he introduced well about the data panel and how to manipulate files there. And in my section, I'd like to show you more about how to manipulate the objects, not the files. So the first thing is actually you're going to see on my screen is probably will be about a bit different because I use dark mode, but that's not an issue. You can quickly change the environment over here. I usually prefer gray room, but you can select whatever you want. There's some other lighter themes as well. So the first thing that I like to show you is manipulating the area. So a lot of people, especially the newcomers, they're having difficulties, especially in rotating and panning objects. Sometimes they lose the objects, but actually, since Mehmet changed the preferences as Tinkercad, it's going to be quite easy for you guys. Although I use also three space mouse, but for the sake of this design, I will try to use my mouse so that you can imitate uh, my using habits. Okay, the first thing that you probably will notice is this little cube over right-hand side. So this is actually a very useful tool in Fusion since the beginning of the software, I guess, where it shows you actually where you're looking at the space. So you can imagine that as a like an active manipulating tool. You can actually drag it. If you hover your mouse on top of it, you can see different labels, right, top, left, and if you just single click them, you're gonna switch directly to the 2D view. And if you drag your right click button on your mouse, that actually does the same thing. So that's the good thing. The other thing that you can do with that is you can come here and there's an orbit tool. You can also use that. But this is a bit distractive, and when you get into the main design challenge, that's going to be a bit difficult for you to select between the selection tools and the orbit tools. So that's why I highly recommend all of you to use your mouse. Okay. Uh, the other thing is pen. Pen is basically like 2D movement tool. I use it usually with my mouse because that's very simple and handy. If you click on your middle mouse button or scroll button, if you drag your mouse, you can see that you change all your workspace. All right. So the second thing that I'd like to show you is there are a bit different more modes on this calibration cube, uh, or like the master cube, whatever you say on this. You can change your view style. If you lose your object, you can go home. Easily, you can reset your view. The perspective and orthographic is the way that you look at your object. Maybe we can quickly create a, I don't know, a cylinder so that we can I can show you like how it actually can be seen over there. So don't worry, we're all going to practice all of them. But if you change it to perspective, you can see that the edges and all the circular areas is just shrinking, and it looks in different mode. The perspective with orthophase is actually a very powerful tool. If you switch on that, only in 2D views, it's going to automatically convert it to orthographic. But for now, just to see the objects in correct dimensions, I usually try to do it in orthographic, but you're free to choose any of them. Okay, so in this design, competition, we will only be asking you to use solid mode. However, there are a bunch of different modes in Fusion 360. The first thing that I like to tell you about is design approach, because if you ever used any different design software, you probably noticed that there are some design approaches. Many designers, they choose their own path, like top to bottom design or some other kind of design principles. You don't have to stick yourself in one side. So just feel free and try to just create some stuff. But for the sake of this competition, I will be showing you like what all these design principles. So hybrid design is something new in Fusion, but this is the classical way to design some stuff in Fusion, which is, I think, very useful. And I'm used to use also hybrid design. But to begin with, part design is just one single file. You can only create singular objects over there. So not movable objects, not interfering objects. It's just going to be one single body. You can have more bodies, of course, but they're not going to be relative to each other. So assembly design is actually, imagine that a bunch of part designs, single bodies, combining together in assembly design. And this is basically called assembly design. It's usually used within complex engineering mechanisms, especially in moving objects like ratchet mechanisms and other stuff as well. The hybrid design is basically like a mixture of both, which I will be using this. You can go back any of them anytime, but you can convert your part designs to assemblies as well. So that's it. Let's go and create new. But before we go on to this, I also like to show you a color cycling tool. This is actually very powerful also, especially if you're using in SolidWorks, I'm sorry, and using in different softwares and Fusion 360. This is very comprehensive and different tools that you can see and differentiate in Fusion 360. What I like to show you is before I do this, I'd like to have a quick break for changing my screen. Just one moment, please. All right. Okay, one moment, please. I'm having small difficulties on my second screen. All right. One moment, I need to. Okay. Yep. There it is. Just a second, please. I need to re-switch it probably. Okay. So this time I will share my whole screen with you guys so that you can see the other stuff as well. Because before we dive into this, I'd like to show you some workspace areas over here. Especially under design, which we only ask you to use design modeling tools here in this competition. You will see another different tabs and all these icons. They might look a bit scary, but don't worry about that. If you see on your screen different icons, don't worry. I use them frequently. That's why I attach them as a shortcut. If you want to do it, you can just hover your mouse here at the three dot, and you can say pin to toolbar. Okay, so it comes here. So you can, especially working in a dedicated project, you can quickly set up your own interface. Okay, so let's start with solid modeling, but instead of just showing you icons, I did a quick presentation on this just to show you that so that you can actually imagine what it is. So all these projects are used in my both in my student and my professional life. So I can actually show you like what we've done before and what you can do. So the solid modeling is basically creating solid models, and like it's filled with fully material models, especially like it has a volume, it has a mass, you can attach material. So this is like pure manufacturable models, which is actually under this section, solid model. It has a bunch of different subsections as well, like creating, modifying. Assemble is, as I said, not needed at this point. And configure, construct, inspect, insert. These are basically like the helpers, but mostly we will be focusing on create and modify. So you can imagine that they're in order. So usually, like maybe 90% of the time, we start from left and we go all the way to the right. Yeah. So there are some exceptions. Okay, the surface model this is a simple hull model of a ship. And I created this in Fusion 360. This is very generic model, generic ship hull model because you can actually use the surfaces very easily. You can bend them, you can stitch them, which I think Mehmet is going to introduce in deep. Form model is also something that he is going to introduce better than I, and you can use T-splines to create some organic shapes. The other one is mesh. Maybe like many of you probably use 3D printing, right? And if you find a file, especially in SDL or OBJ online, sometimes we need to change some specifications on the model, some features we might need to edit. In this way, we can actually convert and remesh it in Fusion, which is, I think, one of the most powerful tools in Fusion. The other one is sheet metal, which probably my favorite one because this is very easy and cheap way to manufacture some stuff. You can use generic sheet metal rules. There are a bunch of different saved rules also in Fusion. So especially if you're working in engineering projects, that will be very useful for you. Okay, so the other one is, before I jump into that, I'd like to show you the other one. So the main workspaces are here actually. The design is what we're going to focus during this training, where we're going to spend our time. But there are others also. Especially generative design is very impressive, I think, where you can create AI-based models. I'd like to show you one of the designs that I did during my previous job. That was a large system, like launching and recovery system of an underwater vehicle, and that can be converted in mass optimization. Like it has the same stiffness, the same safety factor, but it's almost like 60% lighter. The second one is animation. All these projects are made in my student team, by the way. So I'd like to show you like what the capability of Fusion. So I'm sure that you can do better though. This one is like exploded animation to show our sponsors like what we do. And this is fully rendered in Fusion. I think it's very impressive. If you spend some time on that, you can create photorealistic images. That's very fun to do it. I really recommend. And the other one is simulation. This one basically mostly for engineers to see the material behavior and selecting the best material for your system. And you can later do design optimization as well. The other one is in manufacturing, not only CNC, but you can also use laser cut, 3D printing under this section here, the manufacture. And lastly, drawings, especially before you send it to the procurement, probably this is the last step where you can explain like the details of your design, basically. And electronics, I think I'm not an electronics engineer, but I just asked for a friend of mine just to send me a simple electronic card that you design in Fusion. But this is also very useful. I think according to them, they quite frequently using it, the electronic card. I think that's a power delivery unit or something. Okay, so before we jump into that, that was all from my side for now. But before I hand over to Mehmet, I'd like to also let you know that um, Fusion is definitely has beyond more. And if you want to see it, you can just go to your data panel and you're going to see some basic trainings and other samples. Especially, definitely recommend you to check out the design samples. But if you're curious about the others, you can just go ahead and check some others. And also, Autodesk has very good blog, I think. I strongly recommend that. And I learned many things on that. So you can just check out the Autodesk blogs as well. Now I hand over to Mehmet. Okay.
So, hello again. It's me. Right now we will going to continue with sketching in here. But before continue with it, just we can give a 5-minute break, I think, because right now we will going to designing. Now we just introduced the interface, some terms. Now, just in how. We can go with sketching. So let's take a 4 minutes break.
Thank you, Emre. See you in 5 minutes, everyone.
So let's continue with sketching. So when we are looking at all objects environment, you can see it's important how we describing these objects. As you know, we are talking about 2D, 3D, even 4D. We don't know what is what. So when we continue with 3D modeling, 3D environment, actually, how we describe it is we are firstly describing it in 2D, two-dimensional drawings, two-dimensional sketches to describe a 3D model, the three-dimensional object. So it's quite important. Let me share my screen right now. So we are using for this, just before continuing with to the project, the modeling, 3D modeling, it's important to know what is sketch, what are we sketching it. In Fusion, by the way, it's a tip. When most of the icons, most of the comments in here, when you not click it, just bring up to your cursor, you can see a description, and most of them you can see a photo too for remembering what is it, what it's for. For example, in Create Sketch, it says enter sketch mode, where you can create geometric profiles that define the foundation of a design. Then use comments like the 3D modeling comments. So actually, in here, in world, as you know, we are describing most of the things with references. Some of them references, as I just said before, 2D designs, 2D sketching, drawings, etc. But also, it's important to be describe a thing in here, the Cartesian system. As you can see in the screen, we have a plane, like it's an XY plane. And also, when we add something 3D, we will going to see the Z plane too. So when I want to, and in here, as you can see, it's the 0 point of the Cartesian system in the design. So when in here, we are creating a sketch. As you know, it's a 2D, so we need a plane to design. We need a surface, a flat surface to design. Or in here, it's when I clicking this create sketch, it asks me that, so are you going to sketching? Yes, but where? Which faces or which plane or planar face? So as you know, as you can see, so it's just the beginning. So what we have is Cartesian system, XY plane, XZ plane, so YZ plane. So it asks me to select just one of them. For now, I'm continuing with selecting this XY plane. So as you can see in here, we have a clean area. What is now, as you remember just before, our commands just changed it. So what we are seeing is line, rectangle, circle. I'm going to explain all of them, by the way. Don't worry. In Create panel, you can see lots of options in here too. So other than we have Modify panel, I'm going to talk about this too. And constraints. We were going to cover all of them. So in here, as you can see, we have sketch palette, some options to using this file. So sketch grid, I'm seeing a sketch grid in here as a reference for how long I'm sketching some profiles. You can click open or you can open or close it with clicking it. But I'm recommending to open it. Snap, the Fusion automatically recognize the patterns, recognize the objects, and it snaps. It's a very good thing when you are designing. So I'm recommending you to open slice, profile, etc. These are other things we are going to talk about. So let's start with drawing. In Create panel, the first thing is line. As you know, the point is a 1D thing. It doesn't have any dimensions. But as you can see, it says the place the first point. It gives me some directions. So, but defining a line, you need 2 points. So, for example, in first of it is here. And now, as you can see, I'm defining the other point in here. So, what it's going to be, like, for example, in here. Sorry. My bad. I need to open it. I'm going to talk about this browser too. So as you can see, when I click it and choosing another point, I'm starting to create some lines in here. It's actually the first stage of the creating 2D objects. Everything starts with lines, points, and then it becomes closed areas. So in line, when I when I decided the first point, it also, you can see how long it is. Right now it's 40, and I can freely move to the, I can freely choose the other point. But when you are modeling something, mostly you have something in your mind like how long you want to that line is. And as you can see, it's blue, it's selected right now, the length. So I can write a number in here which defines the how long that I want that line is. For example, right now, 65. Actually, it was 65. It's 30, for example. As you can see, I just defined it. So it's 30 millimeters right now. And when I define how long it is, you can see the long is set, and you can see a log icon just right after the number. And also what I can define is, as you can see, another thing that is degree. How many degree this other point will going to be in here. I can set another thing in here when and another number for writing a number. So you can click the tab button in here. When you click the tab button, you can see the selected text is switched to the degree. Right now, I can write any degree here. For example, what I want is a perfect 90 degree. So as you can see, it's set it. I have 2 options to define this point, to define this line. First of is where this first point started. And with that, I set it at the number of length. Right now, it's 68 millimeters. I set it at the length of the line. And then I set it the degree of the line according to the plane, as you can see. So when I click it again with my left button on my mouse, it's I created another line, and I can create the other lines too. So I'm creating a triangle right now. So as you can see, when I when I connect all dots, I create the closed shape. And right now it has another color, a blue color. So it means that this is a closed surface, a closed area that I can use for other modeling types, jobs that we are going to cover more. That's the line point. Midpoint in here, midpoint is, you can create the midpoint of a line and try and working with that midpoint to draw another line. As you can see, I created a symmetric line in here. So let's continue with rectangle. 2-point rectangle. These are easy shapes that you can use it. The first point is in here, for example, and the other point is I can decide or I can write it. When you are working on a specific design, you mostly writing to how long it will going to be. Right now, it can be 100, 2. I'm clicking tab to move to the other measurement, 50. When I click enter, right now, as you can see, I created my rectangle. There are some shortcuts in here too, the most of them that you are going to use, or you can also add these in here. I will going to talk about that. There are other rectangle options in here. As you can see, it gives a description. 3-point rectangles. In here, another point will going to be here, and the length will be this. You can easily create shapes in here, or center rectangle. The center will going to be in here, for example. The first measurement is 680, and the other one is 110. I can create rectangles. I can create circles. So center diameter circle. When you are selecting your starting point, the center point of your circle, you can start to create a circle, and you can add the numbers for the how long it will going to be, like, for example, 20. It's a small one. Also, you can create 2-point circles. The 1 point will going to be in here, and the second point should be in this corner of that rectangle, maybe. As you can see, there are lots of options that you can explore yourself too. Arc, you can create arcs. For example, 3-point arc is I'm selecting these 3 points and another point where the arc is going to be in here. I decided a start point, end point, and for how long it will going to be a third point. Right now, this arc is actually a part of a circle. This is the midpoint of the circle, the center of the circle. And you can create polygons. For example, in here, let's start with it. As you can see, it is 6-sided. How many side of it? 6. So, and you can change how many side will going to be this polygon. Like, first, there are 2 ways. As you can see in here, I'm measuring the length. Right now, it's 50 maybe. Then I can click tab and decide how many sides it will going to have, 10 or 3, a rectangle. 2 is, as you know, 2 lines not creating a area, so it's not a polygon. So I can maybe go with 5. Also, another way to create a polygon is sorry. I'm facing some difficulties. So let's continue with that. I'm sorry. And after polygon, you can create some ellipses in here, for example, an ellipse like this. You can create slots. This is the point of the first circle and second circle, and this is the length of it for the middle part. So, and you can create some feet point splines. Also, these are, as you can see, these are basic shapes, the most regular shapes that we know. But you can create some lines, you can create some splines with this command. When you're deciding your first point, you can select another point, a third point, a fourth point, a fifth point. When I click the OK, as you can see, I created some curvature tools. So when you are creating some complex areas, you can use that fit splines tool too. So when I'm working with this, as you can see, there are lines that I choose. And also, these are the another yellow line, which says that in this point, the point is going in this, it follows this line. For example, if right now it's in like this, in here like this. So you can decide how this line will going to go on in here. Also, you can move these lines too. You can change the diameter of these small circles. As you can see, there is a small circle in here, and you can change this with that too. So you can create some fit splines in here. So also you can add some text, parametric text, yes. In the text, we're going to start with in here. Now I'm writing what is Autodesk, for example. Also, you can select a path. For example, in here, I like to write on this path. Or as you can see, I can just create a box for it. Or you can adjust the height, the font, the typeface, it's bold or italic, the alignment, etc. There are lots of options for that. In here, I'm continuing with another commands, mirror, circular pattern, rectangular pattern right now. So for this mirror pattern, actually, it asks me that objects. It's a mirroring tool that we are going to mirror some tool that's some drawings that we draw. For example, in objects, it could be like this ellipse and a mirror line. As you know, for example, in real world, when there is a mirror, actually, it's the mirror line of your as this mirror. As how long the distance with this mirror and yourself is the same for the other side of the mirror, actually. So we need a mirror line. As the other way is this question is where will going to be this mirror will be. So as you know, the mirrors are flat areas. So it not, as you can see, allow me to choose a curvature area, but it allows me to say select a planar sketch. For example, in right now, I'm choosing this one as a line. So I'm saying that this will going to be the mirror. When I click it, the mirror is all of these areas. And when I click it, as you can see, it mirrored the shape. And when I say OK, it's mirrored, as you can see. I can create some mirrored shapes for that too. When you are working a symmetric project, you can use this mirror command. Actually, it's available in the other types of, it's available in the modeling side of it, the solid surface, etc. You are going to use that a lot. For the circular pattern, as you can see, we are there are some patterns in the everyday objects. For example, in your computer, there can be some ventilation points, and these are just aligned. These are creates pattern, the alignments, the measurement between these holes, shapes, etc. So these are create some patterns. In here, we can create some patterns too, like in here, circular pattern. It says that please create an object. So what's the object will going to be is, let's create something different, the circle. And center, and it asks me a point to select where this going to be in here. So I need to select a point right now. I can create a point, by the way. For example, in here to here, I can create some points in here, like this is a point, this is another point, the endpoint of the slide. Sorry. So when we creating this circular pattern, I choose this, and after a center point like this, and choose the center point and set that create a circular pattern around this point. So as you can see, it asks me the quantity of how many objects that you want. Now that right now is 3, 5, 6. It's create a pattern around this point. It's creating a circle around this point and placing that these objects around it. When I say OK, I created it a circular pattern. All of the length in here is same, all of them. So let's continue with rectangular pattern. As you can see, we created a pattern as a circular pattern. Right now, we can also create some rectangular patterns, like objects. This line, and this line. And right now, it asks me to a direction, like in here. It's a 2D design, so I have just 2 options in here. So I can create multiple of them. The space between these 2 objects is same, so it's a pattern. And the quantity, for quantity of this side can be 5, for example. But in other direction, it can be, I don't know, like 7, 8. When I said, okay, I created lots of objects with it. Sometimes you may need lots of the same object that you have, but as you can see, just creating it again and making sure that the space is same always, again and again, is taking us so many time. But in patterns, you can create so quite easily. So these are the create panels. So let's continue with the modify panels. So fillets. Fillets is as you can see, we have a sharp corner in here, but always in the nature there are no sharp spaces, always some even small fillets. And when we don't want some sharp points in your design, actually this command is available in solid modeling too. You will going to cover that in further. Then I can say this corner start with, or I can select 2 sides and saying that let's create a fillet it. As you can see, we have a circle in here normally, and along this circle, it creates a fillet of this rectangle. It can be 28, for example. When I clicking enter, it created a 28 degree 28 measurement of fillet right now. So also you can create some chamfers. As you can see, these are circular shape, but also you don't want that too. You can want a chamfer, equal distance chamfer, for example, in here and in here. Just create a chamfer like that, and you can set that one in here too, and you can create others like that. When I enter it, I create some chamfers. So blend curve. it creates a tangent or curvature continuous blend, two curves, two lines. For example, in here, I can show an example in here right now, and I have another tool right now. But as you can see, I need to connect with them. So for creating much more balanced surface in here, as you can see, I can't use blend curve. Another tool is offset. I can create offsets of these lines or these shapes. For example, in this shape, I like a 6 mm offset inside, and I can add minus, so it means outside. When I said OK, it creates a 6-minute offset of this shape. But also you can apply it on a line 2. Continue with trim. Trim is actually your scissors tool. As you can see, we are creating lots of areas in here. But when these these shapes intervene with others, you can use this shape's path as a reference to a cutting tool. As you can see, I can choose some lines in here. The red one is the one that you are going to trim it. So when I'm choosing this one, I trimmed it. And I can choose this one and I'll trim it. As you can see, I connected these two parts right now. So extends a curve to nearest intersection curve or boundary, the break, the sketch scale. Sketch scale, we can go for it. For example, in here, I want to scale it. When I use this one, as you can see, it's scaling alongside this point, or I can use this point as a scale. So this is the create and modify commands of the sketching environment. And there are also constraints. As you can see, we are creating lots of lines, we are creating lots of areas, but to make sure that these are fully coincident, tangent, equal, parallel to them, we are using constraints for them. For example, let's create a horizontal, vertical area in this one. And for example, this one. And I'm using this as a shortcut in here. This one and this one, I want them to be in horizontal or vertical. As you can see, it becomes, these are now parallel, these are now horizontal. Or for example, I want this now as vertical. Like right now it's vertical. Coincident constrains the position of 2 points or a point and a line curvature together. Line in here, in here. As you can see, it just moved. Now they are touching them, and it fixed right now because I choose them to be. The tangent is important when you are working with lots of surfaces. For example, I may say that I'm adding another line in here, and I'm saying that I want this to be tangent to them. So it asks me to select a sketch object, right? This one and this one. As you can see, it changed the model a bit. It depends on your design. It's not changed a lot. For example, in this one, I'm creating a one easily, a simple one. And this one. So when I'm saying that make them tangent, as you can see, it's tangent right now. And we have another icon in here, which means that these are two different lines that I connected it, and these are now tangent to them. Also, you can create some equal sizes of lines or objects. You can create parallel lines, for example, and I want this one and this one as a parallel. So as you can see, this box is just aligned to this line. You can create some perpendicular areas. For example, right now, as you can see, these are not perpendicular. This is not 90-degree. But when I said perpendicular and select this ones, now as you can see, it's perpendicular, and I'm sure that it's 90-degree, and an icon in here which notifies you that these are perpendicular. You can fix the size, the location, or a point or object, and you can constrain two or more objects so they are symmetrical. You can explore them, or you can explore them in further. So right now, actually, we can continue with these line types. As you can see, I just created some real lines, but sometimes you may need some lines as reference. For example, in this one, I'm not going to use this one in my sketch, but I need this as a construction line to become a reference to me. Like in a complex drawing, you are going to need some references for creating some mirror lines, creating some different lines like how long it is, etc. You can create these line types. Also, you can create some center line. As you can see, when I'm going to click something, this triangle, you can see it's the midpoint icon in here. When I'm trying this one, it's automatically snaps the midpoint of this line and gives me this right now. When I choose it and set center line it looks like a center line right now. It has a different shapes. In this sector, this type of drawing is mean a center line type of line, and this is a line type that you can use as a reference, or you can have another reference for them too. So for right now, it's actually the basics of sketch environment. So we can continue with solid modeling right now. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Mehmet. I think he explained very good and in detail. Before we jump into the solid modeling, we can quickly practice whatever he mentioned about. I think whatever he explained was very valuable in terms of designing a solid model, because if you don't get the sketch modeling, I think solid modeling will be useless. So that's why I will present my screen quickly again. And I picked one design for you guys. This is the 2D sketch that we're going to practice, okay? So it pretty much illustrates whatever he mentioned. But before we jump into this, I will try to show you guys how to import the sketch on our workspace. So I jump into Fusion, and then in our workspace, you guys are going to see insert section over here. So under insert, there are a bunch of different options, but for this one, we're going to use canvas. Okay, you can do this also under sketch. So if you miss it, you can just go from there and insert from my computer. I select it and I will just specify one face. For this one, actually, it doesn't matter which one you're selecting. Any of them could be okay. I select here, and right now we don't know the scale, right? So we can just pick an random scale over here, but later we actually need to resize it. So whatever I do is I will go over my calibration cube again, and I press top so that I can look from there. As you can see, this is neither not centered, no dimension well. So we need to calibrate it. Whatever you do is, let's go on our browser. This is called feature tree. And under your canvases, you're going to see our sketch, okay? So I right click on it and I say calibrate. All right, the first thing I'll do is you can see my mouse icon has changed. You can see a cross shape. So that means we need to indicate 2 points that we know the exact dimension. Okay, for example, here, you can pick any one that you want, but be careful that it should be linear. The circular dimensions must be different. So let's choose, for example, 80. I see 80 here. So try to get as close as you can. Pick 1 point. You can see the green dot here and maybe over here because this is the linear one. So ignore the fillet right now, but try to be on the same linear height as well. Okay. So here, right now we can see that it's 18, but I type here 80 as well instead. Okay. So, okay, my screen is a bit out of center. What I need to do is I need to locate my center of origin to my actual center of design. So this is not mandatory, but highly recommended in order for you to do easy design. So again, I go on my canvas, right click and say edit canvas, okay? So at this point, you can actually drag it from this square, or you can also do it in one direction with these arrows. Okay, so try to locate it as close as you can. Okay, so this image is just for reference. Be in mind that we're not going to use it as a sketch object. Okay, so this is just going to be a helper object for us. So once we're done, on this panel, I will just change my opacity so that I can see my actual sketch objects easier. Maybe like, I don't know, 13 is okay at this point, and I press OK. So whatever you notice will be, this is right now just gradient, and I cannot drag it. So this is fixed, right? And after this point, we can create a sketch over here on top of it. Okay, then we can start on that. So whatever I see is here, I think the first or second object Mehmet mentioned, the circle, and a bunch of different circular objects, the fillets, some slots over here. Let's try to see it, how it's being done. Okay, the first thing I'll do is I will create my main object in the center, which is circle. The shortcut is highly recommended just for you to quickly manage whatever you do here. If I press C on my keyboard, I can quickly grab circle tool. Also, you can choose from there. Then I make a arbitrary circle and I do it again. Okay. So the dimensions has been clarified here as 50 for this one. If you don't know how to read the technical drawing, this is totally fine. Just try to follow the lines, and wherever the point of the cross intersects with the object, it's your dimension. Okay. Then for giving dimension, it's also very important because we're aiming to make it fully constrained. Okay. Whatever you see blue here is basically has no dimension. Okay, so 50 diameter. This icon indicates diameter, by the way. To grab the dimension tool, I press D on my keyboard, but you can also grab it from here, right there. Okay, so I type here 50. This is fixed. If you noticed from my screen, Mehmet was using the white environment. So this black object is fully constrained, but this one is not. So that means that this has a specific dimension that can be changed, but at this moment it is fixed. And the position of this object is also fixed. That's why you guys are seeing this in black. Okay, I go back to my gray room so that I can save my eyes from brightness. Okay, so the next one is R36. So whoever created this 2D sketch, they were trying to actually showing us like what's the difference between this icon and this R. R means radius, which is the half of diameter. So whatever I do is I press D again on my keyboard, and I type there. But instead of typing 36 here, I will type 36 multiplied by 2. Okay, so Fusion's dimension tool can actually make mathematical operations as well. So there we go. Okay, the other thing that we're going to do is you can start wherever you want, but I want to make this huge arc over here. You can use circle as well, but just to show you something different, I can go from here arc, 3-point arc, and again, I will make arbitrary 2 points here, and I get section over there. Okay, so again, you can see that it's just very random and not centered object. So whatever I do is, first thing first, I will make this point and the origin, which is the center of my sketch, needs to be on the same vertical height, right? So that's why I go to constraints. I will select horizontal vertical. Between this one and this one, it should be horizontal vertical. Now you can see that I can only drag it left and right. Let's repeat the same thing. By the way, if you hold your control button, you can multiply select objects. There we go. And this is my center, okay? Because arc is also a part of a circle, so it needs to have a center. So whatever I do is, I need to make them in the same center. So I select this and my origin, and I press coincident. There we go. But we've already done three different actions, but still it's not fully constrained. I can see that in blue because it has no dimension right now. Whatever I do is, you can see R96. I press D again on my keyboard, or you can select it from there, dimension. And then I press here 96. Okay, bear in mind that I didn't type here 96 multiplied by 2 because this is a half circle. Okay, that's good. Now let's continue here. I grab line tool. The shortcut is L for this one. I snap it with the end of my arc. And at this point, I will ask you to ignore the fillet right now. Okay, ignore this radius, this smooth corner. And I again make arbitrary lines and I stop here. Okay, whenever you press this tick, it confirms. Okay, right now we have two undefined objects over here. So the first thing I'll do is, I know the AT is between this height and this point. So let's quickly give it. Instead of giving 2 points, you can also give dimensions to the lines as well. So if I click on the line, okay, I drag my mouse and I type here AT. Cool. Okay, so this section is right now is not defined again because we still don't know about the dimension between these two lines. But if you quickly look at this, you probably won't see the exact dimension because it's probably dependent on something else. And that's why I will copy this too, and I do the identical stuff on here. But instead of making it again, it's time consuming. I think it's better to use mirror tool. Okay, but to use a mirror tool, we need a mirror line. So that's why, starting from origin, I make a random line, but I make sure that this is vertical. I press on it, then on the sketch palette, you're going to change it to construction. Okay, for this one, there's a hidden shortcut. If you press X on your keyboard, it becomes construction line. Okay, so if you see a dotted line, it's construction line. Then I'll go under create, mirror. Then there's my mirror tab. The objects I want to mirror is this 2 line. My mirror line is over here. Okay, so right now this 2 is dependent to each other. All right. Again, we can use 3-point arc for this one. I connect 2, and now I need to specify the middle point. It snaps my mouse, but it doesn't matter because this is the middle point. Try not to use this one because you might need to break some constraints. Instead, just pick an arbitrary point, okay? There we go. Okay, one thing that Mehmet mentioned was tangency, and we need to use it here because as you can see that this one is broken right now here. It's not fully smooth. So I use tangent between these two. Since this 2 is mirror, I don't have to do it again. Okay, so the next part is there's an R54 over here. Let's give this dimension 54. And you can see that this is right now fully constrained because this dimension was dependent on this one. Okay, whenever I change it, that changes as well. So that's why I don't have to give dimension again. Let's say that you accidentally give 2 dimensions on a fully constrained object, okay? You're going to get a warning, but if you still want to show it there, create driven, you're going to see it in parentheses, but this is not effective, okay? It's just indicating it. We don't need that. Okay, cool. We're getting close to the end of this sketch, but we need to add fillets over here. Under modify, you're going to see fillet. Just specify corners. It's going to preview what it's going to look like. Then type here 20. Okay, so as you can all see, this is right now has become a blue object because we broke some constraints. That happens a lot, but do not panic, okay? Sometimes if we need to change some shapes or dimensions, that happens. We can quickly fix it. So I recommend you to just drag some points or lines to identify what's going on, okay? Now, whatever I can see is this one is not horizontal, right? So I go here, horizontal, vertical, press on it, and the same for this one. There we go. We quickly fix it. Okay, so just to see where we are, I can hide my sketch here. That's it. Now I can unhide this from this I button as well. Okay, there's another construction line over here. You can see that in dotted. This is actually for the center of our circle pattern. Okay, let's do it quickly. You can either grab center diameter circle or arc. It's definitely dependent on your design behavior. I grab center diameter circle and I put it here, but immediately after I select my line and I press X on my keyboard in order to convert it to construction line. So it will not going to defect my main design. Okay, so the second thing is we need to find the dimension, which is 64. But since this is a circle, we need to multiply it with 2. 64 multiplied by 2 is 128. Okay, the next point is I'm going to put a circle right here. I don't have to do the rest because we're going to make a pattern. Then I press D again on my keyboard. What I'll do is I need to find the dimension. So, okay, you're going to see 30-3x. This 3x indicates like 3 identical objects over here. Okay, so I press 30. Again, I don't know the location on this circle. So that's why the designer gave us 60 degrees over here. But the problem is we don't know how to define this 2 angle, right? Because between these 2 points, there is no angle. And I don't have also another circle, another line. That's why we need to create one more construction line over here on top. As you can see, I do not give dimensions on the construction lines because no need it. And I will connect this circle and my origin. Okay, so there's no need to keep them as normal line. I hold my control key down. Okay, I multiply select them and I will make them construction so that they're just going to be indicated. Okay, so it's time for giving dimensions between 2 of them. That is going to be 60. Okay, so the next part is going to circular pattern. A quick tip for you guys, if you guys don't remember like where the actions are located for the, for example, if you guys are going to have difficulties to find circular pattern, all you have to do is just press S on your keyboard, okay, while you're in sketch mode, and this is the search tab. So you can type your circular pattern, but you need to differentiate between these two because they actually have the same name, but the one that you have with borders, this one is for sketch. This one is for solid model. Okay, we need this one. Okay, I activated this. I need to select my objects, which I only have this one right now, and my center point is that. But I need to, okay, quickly hide my sketch, my canvas, because right now it's in 360 degrees. It's in full distribution, but I need to change it to partial. And this is going to be 60-60, which makes 120, okay? But it's in different direction. So whatever I do is I need to specify the direction. So in Fusion, the direction is specified by minus, okay? If I press minus, so you can see that it's right here. Okay, so this one's done. The only left part is slot over here. Let's quickly do it, and then we will be done. Okay, we already have one circle center over here, which is good. I will use it. And then I need to specify as 40. Okay, that's good. The next thing is this circular slot. So this is not very frequently used command, but it's sometimes very useful, especially in some mechanical parts. So if you go under create, you're going to see slot, and this one's center point arc slot, okay? You can also use 3-point arc slot though, but for this one, I will use center point arc slot. So what you're going to do is you need to specify 2 centers of the slot and 1 main center of the arc, just like that. Oops, sorry, I did a mistake. First, we need to select the center, then the 2 slots, okay? If that part is too fast, I will do it quickly again because I made a mistake in the beginning. So I first select the center, then the 2 centers of the slot. Then you can extend it. Okay, cool. So since the center is already located, we only need to make this to defined. I press both of them, okay? I select them and I press horizontal, vertical. So right now they're in the same alignment, but still I need to give dimension for the slot. So this one is named as 9 millimeters. This is not a full circle, so it's enough if I just press 9 here. That's good. This 2 is identical right now, but still we don't know the location of the arc. So for this one, we need to search for the center of the arc, which is R35. Okay, 35. There we go. And we still one missing dimension, which is probably, yeah, this is going to be the location of this arc. So it's given as 60. But we, again, I'm sorry, but we need another construction line here. Okay, I select this and I press X on my keyboard. Then we can give one more over here so that we can actually give dimension between them. But the thing is, we could have just stopped here because there's no need to take it longer as it's going to be construction line. The next part is just making them fully constrained. There we go. Okay, a bunch of different construction lines, but they're very helpful. The last thing is I'm going to mirror that too. You can take the construction line, or you can leave it, it's up to you. And my mirror line is one of the vertical ones. Which one? It just doesn't matter. You can also select that. Okay, there we go. All right, so that might be a bit painful in the beginning, but after you practice more, you're going to see that it's actually very easy and fun. So if you guys have any questions, you can just type it on the text box. And at this moment, we're going to start by going deep into solid modeling. Okay, so for this one, at the end of this design, we will be creating this gooseneck kettle. So this one is actually a very generic model where you can find online. But to be honest, I haven't designed it before, so we will be doing it together so that you can actually see how I improvise. So my plan is just to do the top part, the bottom part. If you guys want to do it on your own, just try to do it. It's just a rectangular box. And I'm sure after we practice more, you will be able to do the bottom as well. So our only focus is going to be the top part. By the way, this design is not related what you're going to do in competition, so just do not bear into this. I will just try to mix all the comments that we're going to explain in this tutorial. Okay, so I will save it in our, sorry. So right now I'm not in my, right now I'm in my data panel, so I didn't sign into Mehmet's, but you can just save it on your data folder as well, and you can save it, you can share it with your friends as well. Okay, so let's close it. Then start by making the design. Mr. Furkan, are you here?
Yes, yes.
Should we take a lunch break later or right now? Which one you prefer?
Let's see. Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, we can take the lunch break. After that, we can continue with the modeling because this is the most important parts in the fusion for the competition at least. So I think we can get 40 minutes of break and then we can continue. During that time, I will pause the recording and I see some questions there. So uh, Abba asked about if they will get recording afterwards, and yes. So as soon as Zoom process the video recording, we will share with you. So no worries about that. There is one more questions. There's one more question. He asked. Oh, okay, it's kind of longer, so I will answer him in
Okay.
written. I mean, it's not a problem. It's a quick answer, a shortened version, but I will explain you. So yeah, that's all. We can say that in 40 minutes we will continue. I hope that's fine. During that time, if you have any questions, please write through chat. I will answer. So thank you, Emre, Mehmet, and our student friends. So yeah, see you.
Okay, thank you guys. See you. All right.
Yes.
Good. Okay, Mr. Furkan. Is everything okay? Ready? Perfect.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right.
Yes.
So let me reshare my screen. Okay. So the thing that we're going to do right now is this kettle. This is a generic model, as I mentioned before. And if you guys want to check out like what this shape looks like, it's a coffee brewer's set actually. If you go over Google and say I'm more gooseneck kettle, or there are a bunch of different brands as well, you can find different designs. Okay, so this is an industrial product design, although Mehmet is the one who's the industrial designer. But the thing that you guys are going to design during the competition will be an industrial design, actually, not an engineering specifically. So that's why I choose this. I'll try to briefly explain all the comments and the features hidden in solid modeling. Okay, so first thing first, what I'll do is I will go by creating a new file. Okay, and we need to choose either three of them. So right now, for this one, I will be going with hybrid design, but in your competition, feel free, okay, whichever you feel more comfortable with, just go with that. You can also select part design, but assembly design is not very something that you will be dealing with, okay? So you're not going to be asked with like movable parts or mechanisms. So it's going to be simple part design or hybrid design. But for this one, just to show you the between what the difference is, I will be selecting hybrid design. So you can change the unit systems. If you're using Imperial, you can select from there. But don't worry, you can change it after you start it. Okay, so I started by making a new design and I save it quickly. Okay. And so I finally logged in with Mehmet's cloud. So I will type here gooseneck kettle. Okay. Okay, as I mentioned previously, I will be doing the top part. The bottom part is on your own. Okay, you can consider that as a side task. Okay, so let's start by analyzing this product. It's basically a kettle, to be honest, like it's just boiling water, okay? And there's a handle over here, which is a generic shape also. And there's a kettle neck over here where it pours the water, and it's the boiling enclosure inside. And there's also lid. So apparently we have many different parts, right? So this one, this one, this one, all these 4 parts should be separate. Although in your design, it doesn't matter if it's separate or not, but I'll try to make it as close as possible. So I will be making this starting from the main body. But you're free to do whatever you do or whatever you start with. It's definitely up to you. So the first thing I'll do is creating this shape. So you can see that the bottom is quite flat. There's a smooth edge over here, and it goes up with a draft. Okay, it's not straight. So let's start by making it creating a sketch, of course, because we're converting 2D sketch to 3D drawings. By the way, also, like if you don't get what I'm doing during the design, please be patient. I will be try to explain them one by one. All right. So we will learn it by practicing it. So the first thing I'll do is create sketch, and I select my XY plane, which is the ground plane right now on here. I have no idea about the dimensions, so I will just try to estimate it. But as far as I can see, the bottom is circular. So I select the circle, start from the origin. Let's give a dimension around maybe, let's say 150 would be okay, I guess. If it's too big, we can change it later though. I think I forgot to mention about this in our previous session, but if you want to change or a dimension, all you have to do is just double click on it, okay? Then you can edit it. All right, so I finished my sketch. Now you can see that my design is on the XY plane. It is planar, it has no thickness. What I'll do is I need to make a solid model, but if I go with extrude, which is the very commonly used solid creating feature, you can see that it has no draft angle. Okay, so instead I will use another very powerful tool under Fusion. It's called Loft. Okay, so as you can on the icon over here, it actually merged 2 faces. It doesn't matter if they're identical or not, but there should be a distance between them, right? Because if I create another sketch over here, there will be no distance, and my thickness is going to be still 0. So to do this, I need another planar sketch on somewhere here on top. But if you check your sketchable planes where you can create them, you can actually see them on the origin. If you unhide it, you're going to see that I only have 3, but none of them on the same direction that I did or the height. So I need to create another one. So to do this, we will go under construct, and we will use offset plane. So that will help us to create one more plane over here. I will select my XY plane. Now I drag it up. You can specify a distance between them. For now, I will say maybe like 200. There we go. And I can unhide my origin as well. And if you see that, I have another stack folder here called construction. It actually automatically stacks my planes. Okay, cool. So the next thing I'll do is I'm going to create another sketch here. So the way that you do is you can press on create sketch button on top, okay? And then create another center diameter circle. Okay, since it's going to a negative draft, that should be smaller. I'm gonna make it maybe 125. Finish sketch and quickly loft it. Over here, between these 2. Oops, I accidentally select point here. You can delete it by pressing this cross button. My profile is selected, and the second profile is this one. Then I hit OK. You can see that this design is actually the same shape of this one. But one thing is the bottom is very sharp, so we can go over the fillet under modify. We can give here maybe like 30. Doesn't matter right now since we're just experimenting it. Okay, so the first 3 steps that we learned was creating a sketch and making it a solid by using loft command, okay? We could have used extrude, as I said before, but the draft angle matters. And the other one is modifying it with fillet. Okay, cool. It should be clear so far, but since it's going to have a different components itself, like the main body, the lid, the neck, and the handle, we need to separate them because you should actually try to imagine like what the component differences are. Okay, so all of them are going to be manufactured in different methods, for example, or will be used in different purpose. So we need to specify them. So before we do this, just to see them in a better quality, I'd like to show you how to attach appearance, which you're going to use it quite a lot. Okay, variants here. And under Fusion's library, there are a lot of different materials that you can use. They include textures as well, which is very good. I'm going to go over metal. It's probably an aluminum. And you can select, for example, aluminum anodized gloss gray. What I do is just select it and drag it on top of your body. There we go, it changed. So under this part, you see that in this design, I have two different colors. This one is under this. So you can right now delete it or you can keep it. That's definitely up to you. Okay, so now I close this tab. All right, and then I need to make a hollow body inside of it because we need to put water inside it, right? What I do is, like a lot of people, the first thing that they imagine is just cut out this, right? What you can do is on that, just create a sketch and make a negative version of this. But this is a bit tricky. Instead of doing this under modify, we have a shell comment, okay? So here's what you can do. Select one face on top. Actually, the face that you want to take out, which is this one in this case. And if you drag this one, you're going to see that it actually makes a hollow body inside. Okay, so that shouldn't be that thick, right? Because it's just an aluminum sheet metal there. So I will just put maybe 2 millimeters. Okay, in order to see this section over here, because right now from outside, I can easily see that it has a good shape, but I don't know if that's the same one inside. So we have good inspection tools in Fusion as well. Under Inspect tool, you can lower that tab and you're going to see section analysis, okay? So that will help you to select one face or plane. It doesn't matter as long as it's planar. And then it's going to cut through it. So I click on that. If the direction is wrong, you can either orbit your camera like this, or you can press this flip button. Okay, so there we go. Now I can easily see that if I look directly from there. All right, so this is not permanent, by the way. All right, this is just to inspect your design. You can see that this is perfectly shaped with the same thickness. Okay, if you want to disable this section view, you can go under analysis. You can turn off section. Okay, so it's not affecting your design. So that's what I was trying to tell you. All right, so the first part is done. What I'll do is I need to specify this first. You can do it at the end. It definitely doesn't matter, or you can do it right now, all right? So in order to not make this more complicated, I will skip this part and I will explain it at the end of the design. But first thing I'll do is I will rename this, okay? Because we will have a bunch of designs here and I don't want to make it complicated. So if you want to rename the body one, just right click on it, select rename, and let's say this base. Okay, so let's check out our design again. The black base is done. Let's try to do the lid. Okay, the lid has, if I zoom in a bit, you're going to see that it has a curve inside. Okay, it's like carved, and this holder is actually separate, and that one is also has a lip that goes on the top of this. Okay, so cool. And what I'll do is I'm going to create another sketch. But this time, try not to stick on that. All right, you can develop your own design methodology, but I'll try to use it in a different way. Instead of making the design in the same way that I did, I will use another method, which you're going to get it once we're done. So what I'll do is I'm going to select one of these vertical planes, either YZ, okay, or XZ, this one. So for now, I select that. And so in order to manipulate the design easier, I want to activate my analysis as well so that I can see through it. Okay, cool. So imagine a shape here that looks like a lid, okay? You can imagine the same one. Imagine you're looking directly from this side, and we will try to illustrate what we see, okay? But the tricky part is we will only illustrate what we see on one other side. So I'll try to annotate it for you guys, okay? So I'm drawing it right now, one sec. Okay, so that's one thing I see. Imagine that this is symmetric on the other side, okay? But what I need is just this hatch part. So we will try to illustrate it quickly. Okay, cool. First thing I'll do is I'm going to make a construction line for me so that I can see left and right easier. And this is, I highly recommend, to be honest, to do that for you guys. Whatever you do, just try to define your axes. Although you have X, Y here, the red and the yellow, the green one, it's not selectable. So I don't know, this is very easy for me to do it. So this is fully constrained. I select construction here. So right now, this is not affecting my model, as we learned in our sketch model. Okay, so right now I try to illustrate what I annotated a moment ago. I grab my line, okay? So this is definitely up to you. Please try not to stick on your dimensions or constraints in the first step, because if you stick on that, the coming steps might be wrong. So I just go over here, maybe like this. Oops, sorry. Oh, like that, maybe over here, come in there. So it has a groove there. So it shouldn't be perpendicular, right? Should be slack. And I connect it. So you can see that this is very uneven shape. Yeah. So the next step definitely is going to be converting this solid model, but we need to make it in a proper shape. So what we definitely need dimensions and positions, right? We're going to achieve this by using constraint and dimension tool. Okay, so the first step would be, let's define the thickness of this lid. I press D on my keyboard once again. All you have to do is just pick your line that defines the height here. Okay, you can type here whatever you want, actually. It's definitely okay. Let's say 25. That's okay. And this one is, you can see that it's very picky and not in a good constraint. So what I want to do is I want to make this horizontal. So I grab this line, select my horizontal vertical tool. There we go. But this one shouldn't be because it has a draft angle, right? So you have two options over here. That might be a bit advanced, but don't be scared, okay? I'll try to illustrate as easy as possible. First, you can, by making some mathematical calculations, you can calculate the draft angle and you can give the draft angle over here, okay? This too, for example, but this is very difficult. The second one is we can imitate and copy this inner line over here, right? I think that sounds easier. By the way, I just want to note that again, during the competition, you're not going to need it that detailed dimensioning or design. Just try to make it as scale as possible. And in this design, I will just try to illustrate you how to design and how to approach creating something from the beginning. Okay, just try to pick this. Do not try to pick the specific dimensions and comments. Okay, so what I'll do is I need to select this line, right? But this line is not selectable. Although I'm clicking, it either selects face or the whole body. It is a mistake, right? It should have been selected. So I'm converting my cameras, I'm rotating my cameras, but I still cannot reach it. Because right now, since we're in a different sketch, this is a circular object and Fusion cannot detect where you want to select it. But this is quite natural, right? We need to specify it. At this point, we're going to use probably the most powerful tool in Fusion, which I really, really like to use. And I definitely recommend you guys to understand this. It's called project, okay? So project is basically converting your edges and the other geometries on one specific sketch plane, right? So what I mean with convert is not creating an undefined file, okay? It's basically recalling it. So you can imagine it's like that. And it's not recreating something. Okay, the shortcut is P. What I'll do is I'm going to select the inner face, okay? Not the whole body, but the inner face. I select it. You can see that it's highlighted. And I press OK. So right now you can see the fusion immediately called this line and this line, which is perfect. I'm going to change my location again, my camera location, by pressing this front, my cube. And if I connect this 2 point, I can easily detect the angle, right? So let's do it. Press line, select this 2. There we go. Although it's not right now very visible, if you hide your base, you can see that there is actually a white line. So if you remember our previous session, you're going to remember that white line means this is fully constrained. Okay, so what I can do is I can just make them parallel to each other. So I select both by holding my control key, and I select parallel. Perfect. Now I can still drag them, but the angle doesn't change. So all I have to do is just give the dimension between them. So this is not very important, but it's good to have it. Let's give a bit of tolerance between them so that they're not going to stick together. So I press D on my keyboard once again between these 2 edges. Let's give here like maybe 0.5 millimeters, which is okay, right? Okay, so perfect. This is right now fully constrained. I cannot drag it anymore. And the second thing that I'll do will be same between these 2, 0.5. Cool. Okay, so there is another select here, which can be left like this, whatever you want. It's definitely up to you. But if you want to just keep the same distance between them, you can reproject it, okay? You can project it again and make it horizontal, vertical. But I left it for you guys to explore it more. Instead, I will give here a dimension. Okay, so the lid thickness is defined, but the thickness for the cover hasn't defined yet. So I'll type here maybe 10. That's okay. All right, so my generic shape is done, but this one is divided in 2 because this is not a construction line, which is not a problem, but for the use of this project, I think we can just convert it to construction line. And right now, this is just one singular face. Okay, so later, once you're done, you can rechange your dimensions. For example, if 20 is too much, you can just change it. I finished my sketch because right now I achieved what I was aiming. Okay, now it's time to get this shape. So you might wonder like how it's going to look like this shape because this is just very bulky, but we will manipulate it soon. Okay, so the next tool that we're going to use is revolve. Okay, if you have a closed plane and if you have an axis, you can actually rotate this plane along this axis and it actually sweeps it. Okay, but do not confuse because there's another tool called sweep. This is not the one that we're going to use. It's going to be revolve and it's going to make a solid object. My profile has been selected automatically and the axis that I'm going to select as this construction line. Okay, so here's the lid. So I think it's good to mention about this this tool as well. So you're going to see this tab, whatever you select under create or modify. So that basically you can imagine that this is an option tab. Okay, you can change some settings. Over here, what you can be careful about is the operation. Okay, you will see a bunch of different operations here: join, cut, intersect, new body, and new component. For now, I will use new body because I want to make it as separate. But at the end of this project, you'll understand what new component means. So, and in a moment, we're going to see what cut also. So don't worry, we will just go over this step by step. Just don't want to make it boring and confusing. Okay, so I select new body. There we go. We have 2 bodies, okay? And they're stuck under the same folder, which is bodies. Let's rename this quickly again. Lid. Okay. Nice. And the next step that I am going to do is let's get this groove, which will be easy. I create a sketch on top, but I will deactivate the section. So let's get one side of maybe one circle over here because I want to make an inset over there. But you can use many different methods as well to do this. For example, offset is another tool that you can use. Okay. And this is going to be my tool to get rid of some extra parts over there. So to illustrate it easily, I will activate my section again. Do not scare about using the section. That's going to help a lot. Select extrude and I extrude it down. Okay, so you can specify the distance, but be careful again. The minus defines the direction, okay? And the operation automatically change as cut. If I make it join, that's going to join it together. But since we're joining the same shape again, it's not going to work. Cut is basically cutting whatever we do here. And intersect is basically combining together, but it's only taking the intersecting part. So this time we're going to use cut, of course. All right. So the next part we can use fillet. This is a beautiful tool to change it. 15 just fits perfect, so that's fine for me. Okay. There we go. Maybe we can quickly resize the height, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll go onto my timeline, which Fusion actually records whatever you do step by step, which is very nice. This orange line indicates something specific, which I will also mention about. But so I will just change this extrude, which is the size of this depth, right? If I right click on it, I say edit feature, and I'm going to type -10 instead. There we go. You got it. Okay. So the next, but not last, we will make the holder. Again, I will use circle. 40 is okay. Finish sketch. And then I'm extruding it up. But this time you can see that we could have used loft tool, right? Just like we did, because I got the physical product, by the way, but whenever I see the top lid, it has a groove inside. So it's basically getting inside like this, all right? But not a smolder shape, it's something like that. We can't see it in the image, but this is the actual shape. So to get this one, there's also a very useful tool on the extrude command. If you see this arc, this pointer indicates like your taper angle. Okay, so you can actually change the shape by using this. Maybe 30 is enough for this one, but the height looks a bit too much, so I dip it to 15. So at this point, you can use join, but this time, this two product is going to be together, or you can use new body. Okay, so for now, we can just keep it as join. Let's add a fillet. Again, here, maybe that's a small one. 3 is fine, maybe. Yep. Okay, cool. And then I'm gonna attach. Let's do a different type of material this time. Maybe like a paint. Under paint, you can see powder coat off. This is actually very good texture. Another thing is like that might be extra for you, but especially in render, that's very useful. If you double click on your material, okay, you can actually change some specific stuff. If you just didn't like the color, you can just reshape it. All right. Or these are for textures. If you get close enough, you can see the textures here. Okay, so this one's done. The next thing could be either the neck. Oh, sorry, one sec. All right. So let me quickly check if there's any question about whatever I did. Okay. All right. You can still text on the chat box. Mr. Furkan and Emin will be looking on it. Okay. So let's do. Oops. Let's do the neck. So I will show you guys a very tricky solution for this, but that's very useful, and you can actually use this command in your project maybe in the future. So that's very useful and easy method. Okay, so whatever I do is I will dive in directly. I look from front. Okay, and I select create sketch. I'm going to select, if you zoom out, you can easily see your planes. Then I zoom in with my scroll, and this time I will be using spline. Okay, 5-point spline. Then I will try to illustrate the 2D shape of this gooseneck kettle. So one thing I'd like to notice, one thing I'd like to let you guys know about is the more control points means more difficulties, okay? So try to use as less as possible, especially this control points. Sometimes it's getting very difficult to control them. So let's try to get the shape. For this one, at least for this design, since it's going to take too much time to make this fully constrained, I will leave it as under constrained, okay? So, but you can, of course, give dimensions. So for the ones who is curious about how to make it fully constrained, you have one reference point over here, and you have to give like horizontal and vertical dimensions, but that's going to take a lot of time, okay? So I'll just leave it like this for now. So one thing I also want to notice, one thing I'd like to mention about it, this point is going up, down, but it's facing upwards, right? If this continues, it goes somewhere here through my cursor. So if you single click on your shape, you're going to see this yellow control arcs. So that actually shows you how to manipulate a single curve. But you can also use constraints for this one. For example, let's go on horizontal vertical. And I only click on this one, so that becomes horizontal, okay? So that's very useful. Okay, so I think that's fine for now. We can go back anytime, we can change it if you don't like it. I finished sketch. I know that it's penetrating right now my model, but that's fine. You're gonna get rid of it later. Okay, cool. So this is my neck. I don't know if it's similar or not, but we're just illustrating and experimenting it. So let's go under create. This tool is quite useful because it's called pipe. Okay, it basically creates pipes. I select it. You can select your section. For now, I will use circular. The distance is the distance that it travels through this arc, okay? This one. So I'll use maximum right now, which is 1.00. And the section size is basically the diameter of this circle. So let's keep it maybe like 5, okay? If it's too small, maybe we can use 7. I don't know. Okay, the operation is very important here. If I press join, that's going to join my own base. If I press cut, and if I press OK, you're going to see that I lose my neck. Instead, I will use new body, okay? Because I want to keep it there. Okay, so but some of you might wonder like how the water is going to travel through this, right? There's also a very useful feature under modify tools, which I also want to illustrate. That's why actually I picked this model because it actually combines many different modify and create tools. Okay, so if I go through combine, okay, so like you can imagine what combine means, right? It just basically merge two bodies. But Fusion has more than this, which is very good. And I've never encountered that satisfying feature in other softwares, to be honest. Okay, the target body is the body that you want to make the action. Okay, in this case, it's going to be my base. I select this. My tool bodies is the bodies that I'm going to use as a cutter or as a combiner, whatever you're going to use. This one. Okay, so this one, the Fusion automatically detects what I want to do. Okay, it cuts it. But if I press OK, okay, be careful about it, I still lose it. I still lose my neck. Instead, if I press keep tools, okay, it's going to cut it. I can hide it. I still have the body, which is very useful. Okay, so this part is done. If you want to explore more, you can just see join and intersect is very similar that the one that I showed during the extrude comment. Okay, let's make this hollow. Okay, you can actually do the hollow under pipeline. Let's say that you forgot to do it. You can right click always on the pipeline tool on your timeline, and you can edit feature and select hollow. But if I press this, my next command will be effective. Instead of this, I'm going to use shell, right? Because we learned this, that we can use shell for this one. Okay, so this distance is defining the thickness, maybe like 0.5 is okay. Right now, this is shell. And another thing that I want to show you guys is the tip of this neck is actually not the same that we want to achieve, right? Let's quickly have it. I'm going to create another sketch on this plane. And again, this is going to be an arbitrary sketch, okay? Don't worry about it. Let's try to get the same shape. Not the same, but maybe like the similar one. You can see that this one, if this part is gone, the remaining is going to be quite similar, right? So that was the first thing that came to my mind, but of course there will be another ones. But still, you can see that although from distance it looks coincident, but it's not. At this point, I will use the same feature that I was promoting in the beginning of the project, which is called project. So I select this edge, okay? If you're having difficulties to select it, just feel free to rotate your camera, okay? Select this, press OK. Go back to your previous looking direction. This one and this one should be on the same point. So that's why we need to use coincident. Okay, so from here to here, you can actually give distance between that two so that that defines as your main points. But as I said before, this is not fully constrained. For this one, I don't want to spend so much time on that. But what you can do is you can just, again, specify the distance between your origin and your main sketch. So right now, I'll just leave it like this, okay? But try not to do it in your project. Try to make it fully constrained. Okay, I press finish sketch. Then what I'll do is I need to cut through that. Under create, you see extrude, which we frequently use it, and I drag it. But only 1/2 goes through, right? Instead, if you select direction as symmetric, it actually copies the other side. So a lot of people ask this question during the cutting operation, if the distance matters. No, it's not. You can just extend it as you wish, okay? It's not affecting anything. Okay, that's good. It's almost done, almost done. The last part is creating this one, okay? So this is actually basically a sketch practice. So what I do is, again, I try to make a sketch over here. Or maybe we can try something else, you know what, just to show you guys something different. I just do that. All right. And you can see that the only defined point is right now my origin, but I know that we can use project. Then I select outer face, okay? Or interface. It's definitely up to you. Let's use interface this time because I'd like to show you many, many different things. Project again. Interface, okay. Once again, I'm going to use section so that I can see it easy. And I connect this to line so that I can understand where my line is located. Okay, so try to use this browser effectively, guys, okay? Because if you keep your base here, you might not see the existing line here. Okay, you can keep it, it's constrained, or you can just leave it over here. You can just give a slack. That's definitely up to you. For now, I will just keep it like that because I need a thickness. I press D on my keyboard. Let's make it 30. Then let's give an angle between them. 120, I think that's okay. You can see that it's still not in a good position. What I do is I need to define this point, and one of these points is okay. Sometimes if you select your dimension tool, you're going to see that the minimum distance, okay? This one defines as the minimum distance, the cross one. But try to move your mouse up and down. you're gonna find out the vertical and the horizontal distance as well. Okay, so let's see what's missing. I think this distance, maybe we can make 100. Yep, this time the vertical distance should be defined from here. Okay, maybe you guys might wonder why I didn't take the distance from origin. It's definitely up to you. You could have done this also, but I selected this point is closer to me, so I can easily pick it. Okay, so I will select this construction, this reference line, this construction. Perfect. So you might wonder why I did this, because I'm going to make a thickness on that, but it's not a closed shape, right? Or it cannot be extruded. Let's try. You can see that this is not selectable because we need to make it a closed planar shape. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to use offset. This is going to move my main offset tool. You can drag it out, okay? But my dimensions are dependent on this blue line, right? That's why I want this to be symmetry. And under this offset tool, I'm going to see symmetric. There we go. You can type here maybe 10. And then I will connect my lines like that. Okay. This two is not connected, so that's why I select line and point and make them coincident. So this time, my handle is separated in two different sides. I'm going to select them and make them construction line because this is my symmetry line, right? Okay, cool. So let's try to see how it looks. We have this shape. We can also do it by maybe dragging something here. As I said, this is definitely not a professional design, trying to illustrate what I see. Okay, still, you can practice here different commands like adding a line and making a rectangle or a 3-point rectangle. That would also work. For example, we go over rectangle line, so rectangle tab, 3-point rectangle. That will help you to create angle rectangles like this, okay? But instead, I will use, again, the easiest one, which is line. Okay. Then I connect this two. So this T shapes indicating me the perpendicular constraint here. So I don't have to do it again, but I need to give dimension, say 10. This one could be 20. We can always change it, don't worry. And we have two different closed shapes. You can see that this red line indicating the intersection point. We can get rid of this by just trimming it. Let's chop this one. Okay, so now we got a warning. It says like the constraints have been broken because this one was actually holding them together, right? You can either remove it, okay, you can go back, or if you just don't want to have this line, you can again reconstruct it by maybe like having some distance over here, 35. Yeah, it's definitely up to your design methodology. Okay, let's finish the sketch. Now I have a selectable face. I activate my base now, and then I will extrude it. But you can see it's cutting. I need to change it because the operation is wrong. It's going to be new body, and the direction is going to be symmetric. Okay, let's disable the section so that it actually will be visible. So the thing that you need to be careful about is right now it says 15, but it's dividing it in two. So 15, 15 makes 30. If you want to change it to the total distance, you can change the measurement type, okay, to whole. Okay, let's say 20. That's fine. And the next thing I'll do is using fillet. So let's select this edge. You can just adjust it according to your design. The fillet order matters, guys. So that's why first try to do the fillets in 2D, then try to add the planar ones. Okay, let's say maybe 90 for this one. For the bottom, I'm not going to touch it for now, but I'll just select them. You can multiply select the fillet edges. Okay, So we can type here maybe 5. That looks okay. And you don't have to do fillets one by one. You can actually select another set over here, and the dimension can be also different, like so. Okay, then lastly, I'm gonna select this one. Maybe 3 is okay for that. Okay, the shape is quite similar. Maybe this fillet could be larger, right? You already know what we can do. We can go back and select the fillet that we added here. So it highlights it, this one. The shorter way to get back is just double click on the icon, okay? So it opens it. You can just drag it more. There you go. Okay, so we got some warnings because it's actually exceeding the amount of fillet that it can take. So what we can do is we can just, oh, preview warning, there it is, okay? If you see that, that's not a big deal. All you have to do is just reduce the size of fillet. Okay, here fix maybe this one too as well. Okay, and I'm gonna attach appearance as well for this one. Just drag it. There we go. We have 4 different bodies at all. And let's rename this as neck. And this one is the handle. All right. So let's say that we want to change this dimension, okay? All you have to do is just go back and find the sketch that you designed and change it in the proper dimension. That's it. It updates quickly. Okay, so one thing you probably noticed is it's just penetrating it, okay? And there's also one more issue here. So there are a bunch of different ways you can get rid of that. But for now, you can just use extrude, or you can just combine them together. This is definitely up to you. But at the end of the design, this two is actually going to be together. So what I mean is, like while constructing this, they're going to make them in one singular part. Obviously, they're manufactured in different processes, but they're gonna be combined together. So to illustrate this, I'm gonna use combine tool, select both of them, okay? Then I say join. Okay, so right now they're one single object, which actually maybe we can add different identical color. Okay, the next part is actually going to be converting them components, okay? That's the last part. Okay, so I need to maybe explain it a bit more because whatever we created here was just bodies, okay? You guys can imagine like bodies are the geometries inside the parts. So this is just one single part and there are some bodies stacked underneath it. But if you're gonna make another project, okay, if you're gonna make the project more complex, you might need some extra parts over there. Imagine that you have 50 parts over there. You can folder them, okay, but it's not manufacturable, okay? So what we do is there's a design hierarchy over here, okay? And what you can do is you can just convert them as components. That's why I was saying, like, if you start a new design, you don't have to be very dedicated on what you select, okay? You can always switch between them. So, which is what we do right now. What I'll do is I'm going to select my base model. I right click on it and I say create components from bodies, okay? So this is my component 1. Let's do the same for the rest. And I got no bodies right now. All my bodies became components, but components also have bodies inside it. So this is actually classifying it easily. So you might wonder, why do I have this blue, red, and purple colors, okay? So these are actually component color cycling, which is extremely useful. If you see the right-hand side of my screen, you're gonna see a gear. This is this timeline settings. And if you tick the component color swatch, okay, that is going to bring you some extra color, which is identifying very good, I think. And another, I think, very useful tool is Shift N. If you press Shift N on your keyboard, that actually duplicates the colors on the shape. So while you're actually designing complicated parts, you can differentiate it easily. And I definitely recommend you guys to use this tool. So Shift N, all right. But there are some downsides, of course, doing this because we converted them at the end of the design, right? Our timeline is based on our main component color. So if I activate this, for example, nothing is going to change here, but you're going to see them in semi-transparent. So that means that whatever you do here is only affecting my base. Let's say that I'm doing a very simple thing. I will be cutting from here, okay? If I select this, and if I cut out that, you can actually select which one you're going to cut through. If I select OK right now, all of them will be cut. But if you select objects to cut over here, you can specify which one you want to deselect, like so. And you probably notice that it has become blue because I'm working under the blue component, which is my base kettle. Okay, let's delete it. And lastly, I'd like to show you one more thing, then we can finish, I think, because it took almost 50 minutes. The thing that I want to show you guys is, honestly, I forgot it, but we can attach materials also. The materials are different than appearances. Let's say that it's going to be aluminum. It has the same methodology, same technique that you use. Just drag and put it on there. It doesn't change the appearance, but what you can see is you can actually see if you right click on that and select properties, you will see this tab, which is very useful, and you can see the mass over here. So I'm showing this to you guys because when you're doing your components during the competition, you can actually go in the logical way. You can see like how much does it weigh, okay? And if it's too big, okay, if it's ridiculously big, you can see that something is going wrong. So that's why like attaching materials are always making it in a good way. I guess from here, what 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 else I can show you guys is these are the fundamentals, to be honest, but there are some basic tools like box, cylinder, sphere. They're basically replicating what we did. Like spheres may be a bit different because it automatically creates it without a sketch. Okay, you just show you just need to define the diameter. And the other one is torus, maybe. This is very useful for especially gasket design. Coils as well. This is very, very interesting. You just define the pitch and the other angles, and you can also create new bodies over there. And the other one I like to show you maybe is the pattern can be used here, just like the same one that Mehmet showed you in sketch section. The other part, maybe let's see. For example, let's see that, okay, you'd like to add some text on a curved surface, okay? What you can do is you can create a sketch over here. And let's add a text, for example. Say that, say knowledge point, okay? You can change the text height over here. Maybe that was too big. Okay. For some reason, it's just showing me the wrong one. Okay, let me make it a bit big. Okay. Okay, knowledge point. But oh, it's under my expression. Sorry. You need to change it on the score. Oops, okay. Basically, I just try to do a simple text. Oh, okay. Let's say KL. It has no meaning, but I just want to show you guys quickly. You can just switch where you want to put it. Finish sketch. And the position doesn't matter. But if you go and emboss, you can select the sketch profiles and the face. Yeah, right now it's on the other side, but you can see it actually shows it on the other side. If you want to extrude cut this, you can use the deboss effect. So that shows how it's done. Instead of creating a sketch and extruding it inside, you can use it. And maybe the other one will be chamfered, the same one that Mehmet showed. Especially it's used in sharp edges, like 0.5, just to show you guys. It's just making it smoother. And draft is going to be something that we will use later. Scale is basically scaling the products, but I recommend you guys to use it carefully because the starting point matters. For example, if I want to enlarge this lid, I need to select one point, okay? The point that is going to be referenced to. So if I make it very large, you can see that it's enlarging depending on this point. You can change it. And yeah, I think the rest is going to be covered later. Maybe split body is a good tool. I can quickly show that, and then we will be done. So you can see that it looks like a different base, different color. So what we can do is here, we can either use split face or split body. Let's use split body because this is more a generic tool. And what you do is first we need to select the body to split, okay? The splitting tool right now we need is a plane, but we have no plane over here. So I will cancel it first. Then I create a helper offset plane. Select the plane that you want to use offset, maybe 20. Then I will go here and split body, splitting tool. There we go. Okay. And now I can hide my plane 2. Okay, what you noticed is this is actually a different body, but it's under handle because we already converted it as a different component. You see that? Then you can change the appearance to, you can also search here, for example, walnut. Fusion has 10 different appearance here. Okay, so I guess that's it for me. If you guys have any questions, you can text on the chat box. While Mehmet introducing more, I will be answering them. Okay, guys, thank you for your patience and have fun with the Mehmet's part.
Thank you, Emre. Mehmet, maybe before you start, we can, yeah, take a break. That was a long session, so for this one, maybe we can take a 10 minutes break. Yeah, so in 10 minutes, we will see again. And as I know, we will continue with freeform modeling or surface modeling. Yeah,
Surface.
that's all. Yeah, great. So see you in 10 minutes, guys.
Let's continue with the other types of modelings. Thanks to Emre, we covered the solid part. And I will going to introduce, not going too deep, but introducing the surface design. So let me share my screen, just a second. So let's open a new design. It could be a part design or assembly design. Let's continue with shape. It could be a part design or a hybrid design. Let's continue with the part design right now. So I'm creating a new file, part design. So this is our welcoming screen. As you know, it's empty. So let's continue with surface. In here, as you can see, solid, surface, mesh design, sheet metal design, plastic components, managing it, and utilities. Let's continue with the surface. So as you can see in Solid, yes, we are sketching, extruding, etc. Lots of more similar comments in here too. But in the surface design, as you can remember, we are using the closed shape, like, for example, when we are using a sketch, we have to for creating a shape. We are using some closed closed areas. So we are, I don't know, it's up to you, extruding, or loft, sweep, etc. But in surface modeling, it's different right now. So for example, in here, we are right now modeling the surfaces. For example, let me take a shape. Let's see, this paper is a 2D a 2D surface. Normally modeling is like extruding this, a bunch of it, and we are creating a solid shape. But in here, we are mostly like playing with these surfaces. You can bend it, you can create a banded like shapes, and you can create these closed body bit manually, but it gives you much more freedom among your body surfaces, the body shape. So in here, we can create some sketches. I created actually, like, for example, in shape like this. By the way, I have a Turkish tea glass right now. Maybe we can go this example. As you can see, we have different layers. We have bunch of curves, and the top and the bottom, the inner curves and outer curves is going to quite different. So for example, in right now, uh, I can create a surface with P-spline like this. I'm going in here and here. Okay, actually, it's too much, too different. So maybe like this. I'm creating another line. Okay, as you can see, I've finished a drawing. When I say finish sketch. So, for example, in extrude command, I can select these profiles. It's not closed, but I can select it. And now what's happening is I'm repeating this line, and it creates a surface right now, as you can see. And the color is different. It's not a closed shape. And even the body section, we can see that there is a different icon in here, which is the icon for the surfaces, not closed shapes. It's not closed. There are empty shapes, empty areas, naked areas in here. So even this is a closed shape, but when I'm extruding it, this shape, look at it. It is extruding the lines right now. And I can play with these areas manually. So please selecting this and deleting this face, as you can see. I have another shape right now. So right now I have freedom to fill these empty areas according to my decisions. Right. For example, I can easily go and patch it like Control Z, and I want to close these four surfaces with selecting it, and as you can see, it just creates another surface around it. I can do that in here too, but what I can also do this is, for example, let's create another shape. I am creating a different geometry. Right now, as you can see, I'm just creating a profile like in here, just patch. And what I want is, for example, I want to connect these two lines. These are stitch commands. I will talk about it right now. And even what I can do is I can say that, can you patch this? But as you can see, there are lots of commands that which creates a different geometry. Yes, it gives the freedom of decide to create different shapes, but it also gives the opportunity that creating hard surfaces. So you have to be quite careful about it. For example, in here. But what I can do this in here, it's a complex shape, by the way. I can say that not use chaining, but connect this and this line. As you can see, it's not closed, so it's not creating anything. But what I can do is creating a sketch in here and looking these two lines, these 2 points. In here, I have a different option, right? 3D sketch, which gives me the opportunity to lining in this point to create a line to this point. As you can see, I moved to another area right now. When I say finish sketch, right now, look what I'm seeing it. I'm using this one, and this one. And it creates a different shape right now. Probably you started to understand the logic much more. For example, in here, you are creating the surfaces one by one. And after creating that, for example, I create this surface, but it's not connected with this one, which we can call for this command is stitch. You can stitch that one and this part. As you can see, the green areas, the green lines are the stitched part. The red ones, those are just the empty. These are not stitched. It's not connected with any other things, like in here. As you can see, I created another line in here. So let's continue with closing this one. And I will go back to this T part that I just talked about that I'm going to do. Like in here, let's connect with these other dots in here. If I try to do this right now, as you can see, it's not too many complex right now because I eliminated just one side, and right now it's much more logical. But look at this shape. I didn't give any direction for this, so it's not a fully thoughtful surface, but can you see this? It connects with the other, all those elements, even there is a curvature in here, but it creates different shapes right now. And but as you can see, it's still a surface. It's not a complete body. What I'm going to do is choosing this, and it connects with others. What I'm also going to do is, as you can see, I haven't done stitched this area. And when I did is, I created a body which has different complex curvatures. So let's continue with this part. Sorry. As you can see, we also mentioned, but I'm going to repeat again. In here, the browser, we have the bodies folder, which we can see the bodies, surfaces, meshes, everything 3D. But in the sketch parts, we can see everything in 2D, the all sketches that we worked on before. And also what we can do is we can make it seeable or not. You can close it, the surfaces. etc. So I don't need that part right now. It creates confusion. So what I'm going to do is just click it and make it disappear right now. So what I'm going to do is working with this one. I don't want this body one, by the way, but I'm going to work on body two, this part. So as we can see, there is still extrude, revolve, sweep, loft, patch that we talked about, ruled that I'm going to talk about, and offset, and pattern mirrors, thicken, which is quite important, etc. So what I'm going to do is in here, do a revolve command. I'm choosing this one, this profile, and for the axis, I'm choosing this one. And as you can see, it created something like a vase right now. But what I'm going to do is, as you can see, it looks like a shape, but it's not closed. It's just a 2D surfaces. There are no thicken anything. So for giving that 3D a body, like what I can do this is a thicken command. After choosing that one, I can say the ticket type to run that people going to talk about is, for example, one. It's outside. When I say, okay, look just right now. It's actually creating the offset of the surface that I choose. And with this offset, it connects with automatically that, as you can see just before, I I manually stitched the all faces, but right now it automatically stitched the all faces and filled these gaps and created a vase for me. So as you can see, but in here, I didn't choose this part. This is the reason why it's still open. But what I can do is in here, I can choose this side because I'm in a surface modeling. I can say delete it, and as you can see, it's just go back to the surface because it's not closed right now. And what I'm going to do is choosing this one. If it touch this empty area, saying thicken again, that one and that one. As you can see, it's stitching right now. And what I'm going to do is, again, because still it's wide open, that one, it created a patch, then stitch again. As you can see, let's open with the, let's see with the section analysis, as Emre mentioned about that, so I'm not repeating again. As you can see, it's closed, full. It's because of it's closed. It becomes a solid body, so it's in it is full. It's not empty. So as you can see, I have a body right now. So this is the surface modeling. You can go into this, but especially into the competition, probably you will going to more focused on the solid part. In the solid part, I'm going to introduce you with a new type of modeling that you might very interested in. Let's open a new file. And before that, don't forget that it's quite important. Just save it. Waste right now. It's become a waste. So I am saving it. And I'm checking that is it there? It is there. I'm refreshing it. And yes, it's on there. So I'm closing the data panel and let's close that design. I don't need it right now. And let's create something another part design, for example, right now. Creating another part design or 5D design. In here, as you can see, still the empty. There are nothing. And the other type of modeling is creating a form. This is like actually playing a Play-Doh, and you can give another. You, we will going to play with the surfaces like a Play-Doh. Just drag it, open it, etc. In a form, we can see there are different panels in here that you didn't see before. And also, still, we have create sketch, box, plane, cylinder, sphere, torus, quad ball, etc. Also, executable sweep and load commands. But let's create a box right now. I'm going to create a box. That's good. Okay. As you can see, I have a different shape. It's probably more look like a hello in here. Um, so what I'm going to do is playing with this services. Like in here, I'm continuing with the form, edit form right now. What you can do is just selecting, sorry. Just what you can do is modifying and selecting these surfaces like this or like this. As you can see, it's just you can manipulate the body among your wishes so easily. You can change the scale of the spaces, and with that, as you can see, the design is changing too. Like now. Or what you can do is also, sorry. Yeah. And also what you can do is playing with these points or these lines too. I'm dragging this line below and it creates a different shape right now. As you can see, like in here. I'm playing with, and I'm rotating these areas. So it creates a different shapes. So it's up to you to what is creating with here. But what I'm going to do is much more simpler right now because in the modeling day that we talked about, just the first day of the competition, we were going to go through this more. But in here, I just designed a sink, as you can see. And normally with solid or surface, it took a long time to create these smooth shapes in here. As you can see, but in the free form, it's quite easy to create something like that. So let's clear this body and create with a sink. So I'm still, again, just creating a box right now. What I'm going to do is it enough? No. For example, something like this. A higher one. Okay. So as you can see, I have some faces in here, some faces in here. But what I'm going to do is actually adding more faces in here. Like I can subdivide these faces. 4 is enough, but I can also add like, why not? 4 and 4, which is 16 faces right now. As you can see, when I'm adding some faces, the geometry is changing. But another question appears. Am I going to apply all these again in here, again in here, again in here? No. As you can see, there are another thing in here, like mirror. The mirror is the mirror. Same command again. I'm choosing two sides. For example, in this one and this one. Middle of this two sides is here. So it says that the middle of this area, it's my mirror area. For example, what am I going to do in here will going to happen in here too. As you can see, the chosen faces looks more bluish in light mode, but the mirror area looks like yellowish right now. So you can choose more faces to manipulate them. By clicking Shift and choosing another areas, you can add more areas to play in at the same time. But as you can see, I am going to proceed with working in all of the sides. It's quite equal. It's a symmetry that not two sides. It's actually a symmetry for the four sides of it. So what I'm going to do is creating another mirror in here too. So I'm creating two mirrors, which is creates that what I'm going to do in here affect the everywhere because it's mirroring this part and these two parts are mirroring this parts using these parts. So as you can see, what I'm going to in here creates much more areas. So as I just mentioned before, when you have much more freedom, you have to much more careful about how realistic your part is. So what I can do is I can do in here. But as you can see, when I say finish form, it in here, it's not that much problematic. But what I'm going to do in here, I'm going to just show something. As you can see, an upper side, it's going through the bottom. So normal life, as you know, the face is not works like this. When I say, okay, for now, it's no problem. It's not real. It's not happening. So when I say finish form, it says that the T-spline model failed to convert because it couldn't convert because the surfaces couldn't intervene with other surfaces. It connects, it continues, but in here there are no 3D geometry. It just collapsing each other. So what I'm saying is return. I'm going to fix it. Don't worry. So as you can see, I just backed. So what I'm going to do is for creating in modify command, we have lots of commands in here. And I'm going to talk about the important one. I'm showing some of the parts, but it's more like playing with these commands. So I don't want to stop your imagination or creativity, but just showing them. You can go and try all of them. And also it's explained itself too. Edit form, I just showed it. Edit by curve, you can choose a curve. As you can see. And with changing the degree, the curve control points. Sorry, my bad. I couldn't, I didn't create any T-splines. So in here, I can play with these curves lines to create different shapes. As you can see, in these curves, it's normally ending in here, but I created another, say that these curves can continue with much more upper and it creates a different shapes in here. So you can insert edges, which you can actually add a dividing edge, or we can subdivide that you can add more edges that you can add more when you are actually that just we talked about in the sketch. When you are adding too many points, you have much more freedom to create much more complex shapes too. In here, when you are subdividing, you are adding too many faces, too many surfaces, which can give the same thing that you can work or play with much more faces. You can insert points, merge edges. In here, for example, as you can see, there is an empty, and when you say connected, something like a loft, its edges, it create bridges, much more look like actually merging these edges. But as you can see, it's creating a bridge between them. A filling hole, it's look like a patch right now. Erase and fill, you can create uh, actually when you have complex shape, you can erase and fill these empty areas. Well, being in actually decreasing and uncreasing is important. You will going to use a lot. When you need to sharpen some edges or uncreasing some edges, sharpen or you can create much more sharper edges. As you can see in right now, it's quite lofty. But for example, let's use in here. Sorry, modify, crease. But look, what I'm going to do is it becomes much more sharper. As you can see, it looks like a soap, by the way, right now. It's the shape soaps. So, and you can do the same, but decreasing. You can create smart. Sorry. You can create much more smooth faces. You can bevel edges, slide edges. You can smooth some faces. Actually, it's quite smooth right now. But for example, look like right now, as you can see, I just said much more smoother. I just wanted much more smoother edges, and because of the symmetry command I gave it, it is creating for the same command the other three sides too. Yeah. So it also the thicken in here too. It's create the uh, offset side of the body, and you can feel that too. So let's model very, very quickly that sync right now. I'm opening a new design again, create new, create form. Also, I just forget to mention that. Also, as you can see in here by manipulating, and choose that, you can just click these faces too. But what you can do also is creating a smaller surface which connects with the other parts and dragging them. Which you can do is shifting Alt, and just pressing that. It creates, as you can see, much more surfaces around that while I'm taking these parts again and again, which gives me the opportunity to create arms, much more additive parts. Like in here, we edit 4 different parts right now. It's now looking like a drone. It's quite organic shape. So when you have an organic shape or shell, you can work with these commands. So it gives you the opportunity to create much more organic and look realistic, if it's organic, realistic parts that you can use. In here, I'm creating another box, for example. I am using, I don't know, 300 to 200. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do is creating much more edges in here because I'm going to play with the areas. For example, in here, when I need to create a sink in here, as you can see, it goes inside. But what if I try this in just like this? As you can see, takes all the bodies. But what I need is I need upper edges, which will going to stay in there. What I'm going to do is adding subdivide, but as you can see, it's I'm still repeating the 4 of them. So what I'm going to do is symmetry. Or there is another area in here. I can use 4-sided symmetry, which, as you can see, when I'm playing with this area, it plays with all of the 4 areas. It's actually funny. But in here, I can also play with this too. Anyway, come and see. What I'm going to do is symmetry between these planes. It creates a mirror. Symmetry between these planes. It's a mirror command along these lines. So after that, I'm choosing a one side. What I'm going to say is add subdivide, add more faces. 4 and 4 is enough, by the way. So as you can see, it becomes a different shape. What I'm going to do is, by selecting shift, I'm choosing these sides, and automatically the other sides are chosen too. And modify it, and just drop it. With front, as you can see, I can see how deep I'm going in. I created a hole inside of it. But as you can see, the faces, these are just still too organic, but normally I don't need these kind of organic areas in here. So what I'm going to do is say, I don't need that smooth areas. What I'm going to need is these sharp areas, as you can see in here too, by the way. In here too, I don't need that sharp. Should this too much, but let's play with this just a bit, just another time. Let's continue with modify, crease, play with this. As you can see, it starts creating another shape, which is much more smoother, but I have some sharp edges too in here. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see, actually it started to look like a sink. It's actually quite deep. So what I'm going to do is playing with these areas too. Again, I'm choosing them with shift. And you can come a bit. And also in here, you can go a little bit upper. I'm just looking how the difference is quite high, by the way, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is bring it back more. No, it's much more okay. And I say, okay, yeah. As we can see, we have a organic, much more smoother shape in here, but the upper part is not that kind of shape. When I'm saying finishing form, this form becomes a body right now because it's not intersecting with others, and I can manipulate with this body. So the fusion is marvelous in here because when you are creating a form, it becomes a body that you can play with the other tools. When you are creating a surface, for example, and when you are finishing this surface, like I'm just opening it again. So it creates a body that you can use the other body shapes, body commands too. So you can use lots of commands, lots of areas, and lots of freedom to manipulate with the parts with different types of modeling types. Also, as you can understand right now, I hope you can create some parts of solid, that you can add some faces with surface if you have complex geometry. So it creates much more diverse parts in here. So what I'm going to do is adding another part. As you know, in the sinks, we all have marble parts. So I'm going to add this one in here. But as you can see, let me close that part so we can see fully. Home. So I'm going to add a marble like in here. So what I'm going to do is creating a contract offset plane in here, come to in here, no, in here. I couldn't give the distance right now, isn't it? No. Yeah, it's 150. When I'm saying okay, I'm continuing with creating sketch and choosing this one. As you can see right now, I have the shape of it. So I'm adding a marble area for it. And then I will going to add different models inside of in here. Okay. So right now, as you can see, I created some areas, but when I'm going to play with this, as you can see, it's including this area too. So there's another comment that I'm going to show you is when I'm opening here, as you can see, I have lines in here. So what I want is to project these lines on here. So I'm not have to play with inside of this unwanted area because I don't need that one. Especially I need the other, the area between the sink and the sides. So what I'm going to do is actually, we have a project command. And then I'm starting selecting these edges. So as you can see, I selected it. And when I'm saying, okay, as you can see, it automatically projected it. And it's more like the color of purple. Like you can see much more clear in here. It's projected these lines in here. So what I'm going to do is right now is, as you can see, I can select these areas because I don't have to select this area. So I can add another area. I don't need to delete anything. So what I'm going to say is in here, operation, not cut, not join, because I'm going to give another material. It's not the same. Or intersect, or what I need is new body. After saying new body, as you can see, I have another area in here. So right now, as you know, the sinks have the holes for rainy holes. So I'm choosing area. This is the middle part of the areas because I started to create my rectangle in this 0 point. So I'm creating a draining hole. After finish, what I'm saying is I need to cut this area. So I'm extruding it and it's automatically takes the operation cut. As you can see, I modeled in here the create form and I modify it with the solid mode. So what I'm going to next is, actually, this is the end of this area. Actually, and I'm saving this sync version 1, for example. Yes, we created some files. And before that, I'm going to, so how we can bring all these files that we worked on at the same area. What we can do is assembly design, or much more simpler, hybrid design. I'm continuing with the hybrid design, by the way. Actually, this is the hybrid design. Yeah. I'm going to continue with the hybrid design right now. I'm creating new. In here, did I want? Yes. So there are different types. We wanted to show the assembly design, but it's too many things right now. So let's continue with the easier part. So for now, in here, I'm going to close these files. Just start. Don't say that. File. Yes, this is the first file that we are playing it. So what I can do is, this is the sync version 1. I can take it, click it, and drop it back, saying that take this file to derive my file. As you can see, initial position, yes, I don't want to play it right now. But as you can see, it's different right now. It has a link in here, which says this file is taken from another file. So it's connected with it right now. For example, when I change in here sync version 1 file, for example, let's add an area like this. And after saving it, this is an important, by the way. We are taking lots of questions about it. For example, my friend changed his design and now the design is not changing. Or why this design changed, it's not like the yesterday. Because your friend changed, it's the other design. So you have to actually relink the design. As you can see, I have a notification, update one child component to latest, non-milestone version or milestone version if available. It asks me that, do you want the initial design is changed, but it's not changed in here. So what you can do is to get the latest version. I said, just upgraded it as it was, and it upgraded it, as you can see. So let's continue with it. Actually, this driving method is also available in this insert derive. And as you can see, this is all my files. For example, what I'm going to do is sync version 05 I have. And I'm going to take this faucet in here, saying that I'll take this body to my original design. But as you can see, the position is wrong because it's taking the same position too, where it's positioned before. So what I'm going to do is just move edit in place available too. But what I'm going to say is actually edit in place. Sorry. Wait, why? Sorry. It comes with the, sorry, my bad. I just mixed the files. As you can see in here, I derived these files, and also as you can see, we have the link right now, but these are just not components. I derived it here, not added to all files. So I take these files as the bodies, but it is still linked with the original file. So what I'm going to do is, for example, move that part, but as you can see, it's available. I'm moving this to a right position. But also, as you can see, the sizes are not correct, right? It's quite small when we compare it with the other areas. In here, I moved in here right now, for example, but it's quite small. It's going to happen if you don't work with millimetric. Because I designed this parts much more realistic, but when I'm designing these parts, I moved just how it looks like my reference. So it's not that kind of big because I modeled it small. So there are some options to, if you are really, really working a professional project, you have to go and edit all those. But in here we have a escape point right now. What I can do is as Emre showed, we have shortcuts. For searching the comments, you can click S, search, S from search. And you can write the comment like scale. As you can see, scale mesh, but it's not a mesh, it's body. So I'm saying that scale it. So I am choosing these parts until all of them is selected. For the point for this is okay. And I'm saying that make it bigger. It's quite much. .5 looks better. I'm moving this again in here. I am going to make it much more middle. As you can see, you can place manually or you can use the other move tools. Right, I'm placing my friend's design in here. What I can also do is placing the other designs like the Buznik kettle, the Emre worked on. So it's opening the file and it is asking that which parts would you like to take it. You don't have to take the all parts, but right now I'm continuing with all parts, the lid, the holding. And I'm saying, okay. As you can see, it came, but the sizes are not truly correct. So it's smaller than we expected. So what I'm going to do is first move this part where it should be. Like I'm rotating it, I'm playing with it. It's modeling program, guys. You can play with these tools. So, okay. I forget this one. So what I can do is, as you can see, just we mentioned before, we have a timeline in here. So what we can do is going back with this timeline and change something or going back and pretend like it didn't happen. Move here, choose this lid, and now place it. It's much more okay right now. Rotating it, placing it, bring forward. I'm looking at this front. I'm going to place it. It is big. It's really big. So what I'm going to do is scale again. Choosing this and .6 looks good. Choosing all of them. Choosing modify in move, but also what I can say is play using the shortcut M. Placing here. As you can see, I have still these empty areas. So also what can I do is point-to-point tool, which saying that use this bottom area as a point and this area maybe, and move it in here. It aligns these lines, the middle of this circle and the circle. So what I have is it's automatically goes to here, goes to that. In here, when I'm saying okay, so it's okay. What else I can bring it is maybe I don't know, these ways. Just taking it, importing it. As you can see, it came in here. I'm placing it right now manually. When I'm saying okay, it's okay. So this is how you can bring your friends' files into the same area. So let's continue with in the render area. It's quite important. In this area is much more about how the jury will going to able to look your design and how they will going to look at it. When we opening the render parts, as you can see, if you are not adding any materials, it looks like a metallic like this. But what you can do is, in here we have appearance, which you can use as a shortcut A. As you can see in here, A. It says the shortcut right now when I'm saying A. So this part will go into, for example, marble. I'm writing it, and as you can see, I can see the parts. So when I'm selecting and sending in here, it automatically become marble. But inside is marble 2 right now. So another problem. What I can do is, for example, in going in here, for example, when I wanted to edit just body 1 in here, I don't want this part will going to be marble. It's like much more metallic. It could be. So what I can do is selecting in here. There are concrete, fabric, glass, liquids, I don't know, metal, for example, glass parts. What do I have is a smooth, for example, blue glass. I downloaded it, and when I can choose and drag and drop in here. So as you can see, the material has changed. But what I want is much more clearer area in here. So I'm choosing this. As you can see, it's glass right now. Also, when I'm editing this in here, I also play with this too. So I like it's clear glass, but I can add some color gently. For example, in here becomes much more orangey or much more greener. I can edit some of these materials too. Don't forget that, because some of them will going to couldn't find the material that you imagined. So, but you will able to find the nearest material, and you will going to be able to edit it. So what I have is liquid, metal. So I'm going in the metal. This part will going to be like, for example, aluminum. But which type of aluminum? Aluminum 13. Let's download it. By the way, don't think that, but just you can try that too. As you can see, I clicked body 1 and just drag and drop. Sorry. But we have another problem. Because this is the part that I'm fully take it from somewhere else. To playing with this, what I can do is just I can break the link, not in here, in design, by the way. Just right click it and saying break link, which makes this design is belong to here. So I'm going back to render. Right now, look at it. Aluminum satin. When I'm adding it, it becomes that part. So as you can see, we can give some materials in here, and when I'm looking at it, it creates how it looks. Also, what you can do is scene settings. So you can take renders like this, but you can decide the background. So it could be a environment. So what it can be, for example, it will going to be funny about maybe a field. Downloading it, yes. As you can see, the field you can edit, or you can find a plaza. It's becoming, yes. As you can see, again, in this example, it may looks like not understandable, but for example, I designed a bike in here, and when placing in this area, the bikes looks like much more understandable with the area. Or you can go with the solid color. You can select the solid color, and also you can select the brightness, how it's going to be. And when positioning it is you can place the sun. As you can see, it's rotating. So you can find the best degree, best rotation, which looks your design better, best, your details, etc. And you can always play with the camera, for example, focal length, as you can in the. It's the if you are interested in cameras taking photos, you will going to know these areas. You can play with the exposure too. So also this is an important area, decal, which makes your design much more realistic. For example, what can we add in here? Let's find an Autodesk logo in here. Autodesk logo, for example. In images, this is the new logo, by the way, this is the old logo. Step one, right click, download it. Yes, download it. And when backing in here, actually, decal, you are labeling, you are inserting some stickers, which makes your design looks much more realistic in some areas. Like, sorry, I couldn't do it. This is the wrong file type. I need a PNG, sorry. Save again. Let's look, it's PNG. I'm saving it and backing in here. Insert from my computer. So, downloaded Autodesk logo, and I open it. As you can see, where can we edit in here? Maybe. You're adding a sticker. So, for example, in here, I can add an Autodesk logo in here, which adds much more details to your design. And if you able to use in the correct areas, it will going to be much more understandable, much more better for the design. Also, what I can do is rendering. So there are two types of render in here. But before, yes, I need to save it. Saving it, assembly, everything, saving it. Then, actually, your computer don't have to be that much strong to take a render. You can ask to take a render from the cloud. As the Autodesk has lots of servers in all across the world. So you can ask one of the servers when available. It can take this render for you too. But as students, you have unlimited credits for taking renders. But just among your complexity of design, the cloud credits change. But up to 16 credits, you are okay to take renders. By the way, and for the competition, you don't have to submit your renders as I know. Just you have to add the materials because we are going to look at your design in here, and I'm going to show how you can export these designs to us. So let's send a render to cloud. Also, what I'm going to do is taking a local render. I don't want to wait. When I'm taking render, it started. I'm waiting right now. It's taking a render back. For one, yes. As you can see, there are two types. The other one is mine local render. Just waiting there. I'm going to show you how you can able to send your designs to us. So when you are finishing your design and saving it, don't forget to save the latest version, because when you are when you forgetting saving the files and just pull turn off your computer, we are not getting the latest version. So be sure that you save your model just before the time ends of the competition, and go with this sharing link. So file, we are going to file. Yes, at assembly, open it, recover documents, etc. So what we have is you can export these files, but not using export. You can share your file link. As we mentioned before, all files in the cloud. So I can access the cloud and look the designs. So you can share with your design as a file link. When you're saying share file link, as you can see, share the latest version with anyone using this link. You have to say this yes. It gives automatically, as you can see, and URL. So this is the part that you will going to share with us, this link. And also, this is quite important. Allow item to be downloaded from us, because some of the files are too big. It can be because lots of details, etc. It's not opening in the web browser, so we are downloading it. We are looking it. So you have to allow the item to be downloaded, but you shouldn't open this part, require a password to access the link, because if the file has an password, so how we are or how jury will going to access your design. When opening it, and I'm saying copy that, closing it, and let's look. It's available right now. It's processing right now. For if it's don't open just right now, it means it needs 1 or 2 minutes to uploading, to preparing everything ready. As you can see, my design just opened and I
And
can
Mehmet,
see it.
so sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
I guess you are only sharing Fusion, so you're not seeing.
Yeah. Just in here. Sorry, my bad. Just share the full screen. Okay. When saying file link, share file link, and taking this link, we can go back to paste this link and open it. As you can see, it's already ready, and I am able to see my file, and I'm able to open it in Fusion and download it. It's, as I said just before, if I couldn't open it, we need to download your files too. But this is how we can easily see your designs, even the labels, the material that you assigned, etc. And the environments, as you can see too. So the render part, you don't have to take renders. You are not going to submit any renders to us, but you can prepare your design's appearance and the scene too. You can add a color which can makes your design much more understandable, much more better. And in this area, my also cloud render And it's so it's
I
downloading.
guess that's one
No,
probably
it's couldn't.
local render.
No. Yeah. It couldn't. I'm still
Yeah,
waiting 10 minutes.
since local render is related to your components, I mean computers power, etc. I mean Fusion uses CPU power to render, not GPU, so it depends on the power of your computer. But as I said, as Mehmet said, we won't be asking you for your render images, but you need to assign materials to your designs, and when you share a link or when you create a link through Fusion, we will able to see, or the jury member will able to see the materials you assign to your design. So that's why that's important, because I mean at the competition day we will reveal the pointing metrics maybe, so you will see uh, which parts of the Fusion will be important for that day. So I can say that rendering is one of the aspects of the evaluation of your project. So that's important. Um, and other things. So I said that we will have 2 days other than the second trainings. One is 17th of the July. So we will be focusing on the modeling, and we will show you everything regarding the rendering, sharing link, etc. And you will able to see what you need to do during the competition. So I mean, we covered everything today. I mean, if you are a new user, if you are a beginner with 3D modeling, with Fusion, the things you learn today is more than enough for the competition. I can say that. So you can be relaxed about it if you are nervous or anything. And this on the 17th of July, we will deep dive to modeling. So yeah, I'm sure it will be helpful for you. You know that the training session is recorded, so as soon as Zoom process the video, we will share the uh, training with you. Other than that, we will be sharing the reference images that Emre and Mehmet used during the training. So you can, while rewatching the training video, you can use these materials and create your own models or your own sketches. Yeah, I believe that's all for today's training. If you have any questions, you can ask us. If not, we can finish the session. And Mehmet and Emre, thank you so much again for your efforts, and thank you to all students for their time. I know that's kind of intense because it's like 5 or maybe 6 hours of training, but I'm sure that that was useful for everyone.
And a last recommendation, just try something that the nearest parts to model it, just go try, exercise it. So that much more helpful to understand and learn and get easier to understand all of this. So that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can get some help from some of the AI tools as well. Like you can say that, okay, I will attend the Fusion training and I want to practice. And could you offer me a few things to model? So AI will help you as well, or you can find some products online. And I can say that that's the, sorry, I had a question through question and answer. Is the competition going to be leaning towards building design or machine design? So we can't reveal the topic yet. So you have to wait for the second day of the competition, the 18th of July. I can say that. Yeah, that's all from my side. Again, thank you for everyone, and hope to see you on the second training. By the way, if you want, you can attend second training as well, but we hope to see you on the 17th of July. Thank you, Yotam. I saw your comment. Yeah, again, thank you, everyone. So see you.